Sometimes I look in her eyes, and that's where I find a glimpse of us.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
What
Why?
is that?
Why?
That's a
why?
classic meme. It's from Skrillex. It's a kid on YouTube who was making.
Skrillex.
It was a kid who does those really fast putting cups on top of each other, and the kid gets it. The kid has a timer, and the kid goes and stacks them on, and then beats a record, and goes, "Yes! Oh my god!" And Skrillex took it, and that kid is famous now.
I thought it was Beth when she found out Aniston and Justin Theroux were coming over.
Okay.
Oh, right.
There's the X-Man. Xavier McDaniel's on Twitter
monkeys, and people say we're monkeying around.
All right.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We're wrapping up this horrible week of shows.
It's
Summertime.
drinking with Dennis. It's drinking with Dennis.
Little Campari and
Drinking
seltzer.
with Dennis.
Let's do something crazy. Just go right into the clips right now. No preamble. Just
Yeah.
right
Yes,
into
let's
it
go.
right now.
Let's go into
Let's go
clips
right
right now.
20
Please,
seconds
dear
in.
God.
And like and subscribe. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye, guys.
I will say this before we do. I do want to have a show where all we do is interact with the chat. We're not a prisoner
have
to
to do
clips.
that.
We're not beholden to continuity and clips. We just
have-
interact with the chat and riff off what they say.
We have all
I-
summer. We should do that
way
at least once a
overdue.
week. I want to do that. I want to interact with you. With you.
It's so bad, Coach, that I don't even feel like saying it's bad and worse than the worst show we've ever heard.
Yeah, the
Though there was
words
some
can't
gems. Wait.
describe
There were some
this.
gems.
Okay.
There were some gems today. There were some gems. So it was terrible, but it wasn't completely boring. You go to sleep stuff.
Yeah, if you
So,
get that Beth pushback, it can't be the worst show, right? That's what
absolutely,
we're here
there
for.
was Beth pushback. So salute.
You know, it's comical that he's pretending like he's just
Nah.
He's drifting in and out.
It's just documented. Like there's photos of her
Yeah.
being out for like almost 3 weeks now.
Well, more than that actually, but I posted right after
Yeah,
he said the
absolutely.
whole thing with that. I posted the 3 pictos in a row from It's Stupid Gram with civilians.
Absolutely.
As
Yeah,
we've
that's
proven
weird.
over and over again, this show has no bottom. It can
what
always get worse. It finds a way to get worse all the time.
Honestly,
Maybe not
what
today.
he's trying to do, he's trying to put the worms back in the can because he knows that his only like he can do whatever he wants. First, let's just establish that he's got Sirius by the balls. He can do whatever f he wants, but he still feels like he has to get over on the fans with this whole "I'm afraid of germs" bullshit. So I think that's his only recourse is to say like, "Whoa, but she went out once and now I can't go," blah blah.
Yeah,
blah.
it's just a way, to perpetuate the myth that there's a
course.
thing. He can't. I mean, obviously he can do whatever he wants, but he has to let you know. Oh,
Totally distracted like squirrel. So I heard was that a kookaberry or something? I heard in the background. I heard a bird. Was that who has a bird in the background?
That's me.
A kookaberry, yeah.
No, it was probably a magpie, maybe. No, I wouldn't. We don't get a kookaburra around here. But,
No kookaberry there. Okay.
now, speaking of Australia, John, I just wanted to do one thing quickly. On Monday, you asked me about. You just made a little comment and you said, "Oh, does Australia get all the American TV shows and all that?" And I said, "Oh yeah, absolutely." And I wanted to show you guys, which is something you may have not seen, like in the late 80s and then the early 90s, American TV shows became so popular in Australia, especially Seinfeld kicked it off, and then Friends and the X-Files. And just to show you the insanity, I have a news report from when Gillian Anderson came into Australia in 1996. She came to promote the X-Files, and she went to like 3 shopping malls in Australia and just watched the chaos.
Have been crushed and injured during a live appearance by X-Files star Gillian Anderson at Southland Shopping Centre. The crowd was so big, her appearance was cut short to avoid more fans being hurt.
What should have been a smooth public relations exercise quickly became a frightening crush. Teenagers crammed at the front of the stage had to be pulled to safety as the crowd of over 10,000 surged forward. Gillian Anderson became so concerned, she pleaded with the crowd.
I really want to stay and sign some more autographs, but people are getting injured and I'm dead serious.
But it had little effect. Many teenagers were still trapped in the crush. Extra police were called while ambulance officers attended to people on stage. Most suffered heat exhaustion, but no one was seriously injured. Centre management at Southland defended their crowd control tactics, but were forced to cut her appearance short.
Some
Crikey.
had camped since 4 this morning for a glimpse of the star, not disappointed when their hero finally showed.
So it
Crikey.
borders
And
on
that
complete
is what the world was like
insanity.
before social media, boys and girls.
Yes.
Isn't that
What an-
amazing,
wow.
though?
Where
What an
is
exciting
Southland?
batch of chaos for such a boring show. Do they deserve that level?
Wait, where is Southland?
Southland is in the south of of Victoria, which is it's right near me. It's like when she was there, I was about a 10-minute drive from there.
So it's
so it's
south of
in-
Melbourne?
10
Yeah.
minutes.
In what we call
Is
the
that 10 metric
Bayside
minutes?
area of
Is
Melbourne.
that metric or is that standard?
Yeah, but isn't that
You know
bizarre
what?
though?
I used to think she was hot, but Mr. Skin ruined it for me.
Why?
When like
What?
Gillian Anderson,
I don't know, man.
She's on Mr. Is it Mr. Skin? Yeah.
No,
And her
Not
I
so good?
loved her. I was
her
obsessed with her.
Furburger-ish was not so good.
How do you know
at,
that's not real?
3
That could have been
minutes and
American.
55 seconds.
Could have
X
been
I
American.
never
marks the
saw-
spot at about the 14-minute and 25-second mark. You can see Gillian
I'm not
Anderson's
joking. Like soon
Duchovny's.
after he was on,
Yeah.
soon after he was on Stern, like Gillian Anderson for some reason, like that popped up because it was like the '90s, and it's like
I think it was American.
It was better in my imagination.
Duchovny was one of the guests that couldn't get on the Stern Show after a while. Howard was rejecting him. That was the Marcy turn where he was beneath. Howard deemed Duchovny is beneath the show.
Jesus.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Artie
embarrassing.
Wow.
told him. Duchovny knew he got turned down to get pissed at Howard.
That's
He was,
weird,
he's one of those guys that. Remember Robin developed a relationship with Chris Carter, the creator of the X-Files?
No.
She
Yeah,
has
I
these
think you're
weird
right,
friendships with like.
I think you're right.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know if it was at that race thing or. Remember she had George Lucas as a friend of hers and Chris. I don't know how
Well,
she.
it was
Really?
from the
He both
racing.
attended
Yeah,
like
that
one
was
of
from-
these
that was from
celebrity
racing.
card thingies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them friends.
Yeah, they
I-
weren't. Yeah.
All I know is I'd rather be on Beth's shit list than Tamara Francois. Let's
Yeah,
go to it,
absolutely.
Bond. Let's do it.
And-
Let's
and
do it.
hey,
Let's do it.
hey, John, we would
Yeah,
be
let's
remiss
go.
to make that reference without mentioning that Mr. X was caught going to town on someone who wasn't Robin that weekend.
Do you know who played Mr. X on X-Files, as a matter of fact?
Wait,
Captain
are we talking
Fuller,
about the same
Stephen
Mr.
Williams.
X?
Yeah, no, we're not. We're not. It's
We're
oddly
talking
so
about Mr.
crazy.
Whoever's
I
Mr.
know there's a
X.
Mr. X on the X for
Yeah,
X-Files.
he was.
who's
Yeah, he
played
was
by-
Was that the
Deep Throat,
Smoking Man?
wasn't he? No,
Stephen
he was
Williams.
Smoking
the.
Man?
No,
Captain
no, no,
Fuller.
no. He was the Deep Throat guy that Malt would put an X on his window when he wanted to talk to him. Is that the guy you're talking about?
Stephen Williams, Captain Fuller.
That show was really good.
Fuck
It really
yeah.
was.
It's slow, but people love it. I was too slow for me.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
it wasn't
I
for
thought
me.
Yeah, I
Great.
couldn't grab it.
Well,
It was
you know
too-
what?
it was
The
too slow.
writer for that was the same dude from Breaking Bad.
Tons. It's
no
like Canadian.
way.
Gilligan, what's his
Really?
name?
Oh, Vince
Yeah.
Gilligan. Yeah, Vince Gilligan.
Yeah.
I love that
Oh
guy.
yeah, just the first episode alone was absolutely The first time I saw it, I was like, "This is like the show I've dreamed of seeing." I loved it. It
I
was so
criminally
great.
still haven't caught up with
greater
Better
than
Call
Mr.
Saul.
X.
Okay.
Let's get in the
I
clips.
love our chat. These guys are funny.
So this. The show started off with this, and Dennis pointed this out. Howard, and we're not going to hear the really gross stuff about YouPorn, but Howard says makes us just a bizarre comment about YouPorn that is so weird. It's very short. Just listen.
By the way, I should point out all the children are 21 and older. Some of the children look older than the step-parents. Yeah. By the way, I should point out all the children are 21 and older.
So
all the children are 21 and older. The wording of that is
It's really weird.
Yes.
Right, so
I know what he's trying to say, but he's making it sound super
all right, he's an
creepy.
idiot. First,
saying the women are 21 or older. The ladies is what he should have said.
Let me explain.
Yes, even better.
Let me explain the stupidity of that statement.
Okay.
To be in adult movies, pornography per se, you need to be 18 and over, not 21.
Absolutely.
That's right.
The actors,
checks.
not the children, because they're stepchildren.
Exactly.
Are 18 and over, you 69 IQ moron.
The Woody Allen Epstein nature of this show is revealed by Howard and his babysitter porn, and Gary and his teen anal. The whole show is creeps.
I believe
if that's your
called
go-to,
a Freudian slip.
There's something to that. Yeah.
Definitely Freudian slip of stupidity.
Sure.
But no, he doesn't watch Babysitter. He doesn't watch any of that. Please.
I love getting my
Twinks.
porn repartee from the 70-year-old. That's always great.
Yeah, there was an ad.
Yeah.
It's just
100%.
creepier and creepier every time this guy talks sex. I can't deal with it anymore.
It was 100% a ad for YouPorn.
YouPorn, right?
That's all. Honestly,
Absolutely.
that's all it was.
If you remember, boys and girls, if anything we taught you is if you hear a name and it's a product, there's money being exchanged.
Yeah.
Because the best way to watch porn is a 240 pixel, right?
Oh, absolutely.
From 2006.
It's like
I didn't
watching
have a problem with it back then.
I know, but then you didn't know.
It's like watching WHT, in the 80s.
But you know what though? You're right to a certain degree because 4K adult entertainment is not America's
not good.
happy medium.
No,
Because
that's
when
bad.
you can see razor stubble,
Too much.
it's just not. It's
too much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yikes.
Too much.
Keep
Bright
that at
lighting
1080.
and
You know what?
bright lighting in HD.
720. Go back to 720p.
Yes.
Try watching 4K porn on a Commodore 64, which everybody says I use all the time. That's rough.
Yeah, you're on at least Windows
Josh
XP.
Foster, we know.
aren't you?
We know you
Yeah. Can we
Go to the next
Dennis, I want to ask you a question. What are you drinking tonight? And
Tonight I am going light because I just came from an event where I was drinking. So I have
Drinking with Dennis.
I have some seltzer mixed with Campari.
Oh,
It's a little bitters, and then a little bit of a lemon twist and some ice. It's quite refreshing, nice, very good.
are you interested in playing a game? Because instead of introducing this clip, I would like you with that drink to take a sip every time this name of this person is mentioned in this clip. So everybody, let's sit back and watch Dennis.
I don't know if I have
90% of
enough
what I'm
drink. I know
watching
the
these
clip.
days on YouTube is Gary Shandling interviews. Don't ask me what's going on. I watched a 2-part Gary Shandling interview. Each part was over 2 hours. And it's Gary Shandling going through his whole life.
Cold
Then
Chinese
I watched
food.
an interview that Rosie O'Donnell did with Gary Shandling on her old TV show. Then I watched Larry King Live with Gary Shandling. Then I watched Gary Shandling. Everything is Gary Shandling. I guess the computer knows that I'm into Gary
feeds
Shandling.
You what you want, what you seem to be interested in, yes. What is it you're trying to learn from Gary Shandling?
I guess that's a good question. I thought about that. I think Gary Shandling, I mean, I'm at this point watching more Gary Shandling than I do lesbian porn, and that's alarming me. I think there's something wrong with me. I'll bring it up to the psychiatrist. But what's going on with me is Gary Shandling is a guy I really respect. I loved what he did, the Larry Sanders Show. Oddly enough, I never watched It's Gary Shandling Show, the first show he did on TV. But I feel he is a guy that is so bright about writing scripts and as a writer, and also the art of stand-up comedy, which his stand-up comedy was top-notch. But I think the thing with Gary Shandling is, and it's fascinating, the 4-hour interview I watched with him for these archives, he was very heavy at that point, and his breathing was even very strange. He'd be like,
Thanks, Dennis. I mean, they weren't big sips. John, you're a drinking coach. How did you
No,
go
'cause-
with that?
No,
What was
I knew
that?
how many times he said it, and if I actually took real sips, I would have finished that, and we wouldn't have a very good show right
Exactly.
now.
We would be dialing 911
I was
right
fixated
now.
on the ice.
Yes, yes.
Bomb.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Yeah,
The
I was-
reverse trace
and the
Dennis's
sound
style.
effects from Xavier of the ice. John, that wasn't good drinking,
talking
though,
about?
as
I
a
was cocaine
coach,
bong.
was it?
Rooster Roboto.
Oh, okay.
I think he. If you don't think he watches only gay porn, you're crazy. And that's one of my favorite bits of Sedan gossip was the Howard and the webcam gay porn that he watches. I believe
So-
every bit of it. That was a piece that was released about 6 months ago.
So the best part about that entire rambling of an imbecile was the absolute. He is not a fan of Gary Shandling because if you were a fan of Gary Shandling, you would have watched It's the Gary Shandling Show because
Which is
that
great,
actually
which is a
was an
phenomenal sitcom.
incredibly
That was the best
funny
show
show.
ever.
And I said this to Bon Jovial, and I said this
Funny.
to David on the Depening. It was Seinfeld before Seinfeld.
Correct.
It was a show about nothing. A comedian hanging out with his crazy friends doing nothing. Single and Seinfeld took much of that concept from Gary. It's basically Seinfeld in L.A. if you broke the fourth wall, and
Correct.
truly one of the funniest shows ever. And that you can't expect adult like Howard to understand comedy on that level. And I think the only episode of Larry Sanders he watches is the one he was in. I don't even think he watches that. I told Benjamin that.
Oh, yeah.
No,
you're probably
there's
right.
no way he watched any other because Gary Shandling's humor goes over his head.
Way too
I mean,
highbrow. Way too highbrow. For
it shoots
Benji
right
and,
past that wig
yep.
and it's gone because he is just because if you look at his appearance on the show with Shandling, he was literally a moron.
It's
His
the worst
lines
acting
were,
I've ever seen in my life.
What is wrong with your wife? She seems like she's on the proverbial rag. I mean, that's
got
the
great
highbrow
tits.
humor he brought.
But she's on the perpetual rag.
Oh, perpetual.
Yeah.
Perpetual rag.
She's got
Just-
something stuck up her ass. She's on the perpetual rag.
I mean, he had walking around with the book. He was walking around with his book.
Yes.
I mean, it was embarrassing. Everything about that. The Larry Sanders
Curb Your
show thing was
Enthusiasm. We
embarrassing.
said that up there. Yeah, he hasn't seen an episode. He can't handle Seinfeld.
Nope.
He can't handle Curb Your Enthusiasm. The
Nope.
worst thing is he brought up that Gary Shandling documentary. Have you any? That was an HBO thing that Judd Apatow did. He didn't know
I
who
watched
did
it. Yeah,
He didn't,
I watched
he's
it.
he's sort of just getting to it now. I believe anything he watches, Ralph is recommending to him. You talk about cold Chinese food. That thing's been out for how many years, guys? 4 years. He's just getting to it now.
I think, yeah, about 4 years.
Yep.
But
It was before COVID, I think.
He's saying that he actually watched a 4-hour interview. My ass.
I
He
don't.
watched
No
the
way.
4
Not with that.
No
attention
way.
span.
Yeah.
No way.
No way. No. Absolutely not.
You guys
Yeah.
remember Shandling they dropped him into Iron Man. He played Senator Stern.
Stern, yeah.
Was supposed to go to in Iron Man 2, and then he was in Captain America Winter Soldier, playing the same character. And that was there's nothing better. So Howard was trying to use Shandling as that he's going to be Dr. Zoom, and they have nothing alike. There's no proclivities. They have
No.
nothing alike. Maybe he's
I
slightly
think
neurotic.
What went to
Go
his
ahead,
head is when Iron Man 2 came out, they had Gary Shandling as Senator Stern.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes.
So that was like a...
A nod. Are you saying it was a nod?
It was supposed to go to Howard, and he took the Favreau had to go through the Iron Man helmet bullshit with him to capitulate to him to make him out to be. I was so mad at Favreau for caving into that. He just made Howard feel like he had some semblance of power over the guy who essentially started, or he did start, the Marvel Cinematic
did.
Universe.
Yes,
yeah,
and he saved Star Wars too. On top
yes,
of that,
he did. He did.
Yeah, he did.
He's
didn't
he's
he?
He did. We did the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
Well,
Remember, Mandalorian came on the heels of the Last Jedi or whatever it was. The
Well, we'll
last
forget
Star
that
Wars
season-
movie they did.
we'll
the
we'll
worst
forget
movie in
season 2
history.
happened. Is that or season
Yeah,
3?
Hal
It was
Hydra.
such a bad
Boss,
movie.
right.
Oh, the Rise of
gotta remember-
Skywalker. Rise of
Oh,
Skywalker
God,
came
no,
out.
I haven't even seen
Everybody
it
just
yet.
vomited, and then okay, Star Wars is done. Then Mandalorian came out, and they're like, "Oh, wait a second."
Yeah, but then he made season 3, and it's terrible. So
Yeah,
there's-
that wasn't.
but-
That wasn't.
So there's
stellar.
that.
Howard also misses the fact that I think he misses that Gary Shandling's character, Larry Sanders, there's irony if Howard admires can relate to the character as well, being extremely insecure and just a bastard behind the scenes. Like Howard thinks that's cool, but
it gives
Gary
him an
wrote
excuse.
that. It's like
That's so
David
true.
Brent. You're not supposed to like him that
That's
much
so
once you
true,
get to
Bob.
know him. Yeah.
That's such a good
But
point.
Howard admires it. He's like, well, that's glorifying the character. Howard thinks it's possibly something like that, which is always the same thing. And again,
that's
4-hour documentary. Did he watch it?
Fake.
No, probably not.
No, he didn't
Ron,
watch a second of it.
That's a phenomenal point because he thinks that Larry Sanders character gives him an excuse to be the piece of shit, narcissistic, elitist asswipe that he is. He could chalk it. Oh, Larry Sanders did. I can do it. That's what he aspires to, and it's
That's
written
the craziness.
character.
Yeah. Jerry Seinfeld's Insight.
Another
Let's have a listen.
elitist asswipe. Speaking of elitist asswipes,
That's right.
What happened to all his material? I told you, I talked to Jerry Seinfeld about that off the air once. He was like, what happens to all the material that these comics leave behind? It's a crime. He went, David Brenner had all this material.
He's such a hack.
With musicians, other people will do it or it'll be played on the radio. But it's almost like, God, these guys had such tremendous amounts of material and then it's gone. It's like really kind of gone.
Yeah, nobody collects it. Nobody archives it. Nobody studies it.
Seinfeld's one of these
levels there.
egomaniacs that thinks everything he says is profound.
Mm-hmm.
Like who didn't collect his kids have his material. It's not lost forever. Everybody has there's nothing gone about and who wants to preserve David Brenner's hack fucking Catskills bullshit?
Hey, we'll always have David Brenner hosting the Tonight Show. So,
do you remember the text chain we had with Casey when he said that Howard, one of the pieces of dirt he gave us was Howard started to pretend he was younger than he was. This is the Generation X theory we have, and he told everybody that to turn down Brenner, Richard Belzer, Richard Lewis, Pat Cooper, and all those old comedians are no longer allowed on the show. And he was trying to have younger comedians on to make himself. It's even way before Marcy, even so. He stopped having Brenner on, and he wouldn't return his calls anymore. Casey was the one booking the comedians, so he had the inside line on that.
Jesus Christ, that's right. That was so telling, though, and that's him. That was him trying to reinvent himself poorly.
Yeah, that's the first reinvention after the divorce. The mad tear period.
Yes, the fake mad tear. All right, what's next?
Well, this sucks. This is where
It usually does.
I don't know. He's very strange. He's talking about Joan Rivers Joan Rivers' daughter gave Howard a card with Joan Rivers. Anyway, he explains it.
But Joan Rivers used to track all her jokes. She had big wooden files, like wooden drawers. And in each drawer was different categories of jokes. She had thousands and thousands and thousands of cards of jokes. And I guess as a reward, her daughter Melissa, when I did the eulogy for Joan Rivers at her funeral, Melissa rewarded me with one of these cards. And now I saw her card system has just gone and been put in some kind of archive where people can go and see the cards and see the jokes. And that's a great thing because those jokes were so good. I have one of the cards sitting on my desk. I framed it. She gave me the actual card, and I thought I was really special until I think one day I ran into Jimmy Fallon. Ran into him. I invited him over to my home.
Another hack.
That's good. At least he told the truth there. I didn't run into him.
I know. It's a rare.
I ran into Jimmy.
Window
He's starting to correct himself on these
things. He can't lie
He wouldn't do
all
that
the
in the
time.
past.
Can't lie about that. Can't keep the lies up. Eventually,
but he corrects himself now. That's because of us, probably. Thank RadioGunk.
You're welcome.
But all right, all right. First of all, you got a lousy joke card. Everybody at that funeral probably got one because Melissa has nothing but to cling on to her mother, and framing it, that's also kind of embarrassing. Put it on your desk, but the thing is, Joan Rivers' material was time sensitive. Like a lot of that stuff doesn't work.
Very, very dated. Yeah.
It's dated.
Yes.
So
yes,
big
yes.
deal. You can go look at old jokes from 1970 and
nobody
that have no
cares.
relevance to today.
Nobody
He's
cares.
such an idiot. I mean, who cares? And
let's be honest. Like if you had the original jokes from Johnny Carson, no one would care anymore.
No,
That guy was a
they
genius.
just don't play.
It's just it's who cares? It's like having Liberace's original cape. Who cares?
Have you ever listened to a stand-up routine from the 80s from a comedian you used to worship and you go, this just doesn't hold up anymore? What am I thinking?
Some do, some don't.
Yes,
it just
I have.
depends on the person.
For who?
But
Well, yeah, it depends.
But
no, seriously. I mean, it depends. Like, I think Robin Williams stuff kind of holds up.
Well, even Eddie Murphy stuff does. Eddie Murphy stuff.
For sure, Eddie Murphy stuff.
That stuff.
Richard Pryor
my
stuff
God.
holds up. Red Fox's stuff holds up, and that's like from the 60s, dude.
Richard Pryor is pretty good. His stuff was like, wow. Red Fox
Rodney
was pretty
Dangerfield. Rodney
Oh, yeah.
stuff still holds up. You go on YouTube down the rabbit hole and check out Rodney stuff. That stuff kills still.
But I'll stick by Red Fox. Red Fox stuff is pretty funny because Red Fox was filthy.
Yes.
He was filthy, and he was funny though.
He was great.
God, was he
genius,
dirty.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then of course that eulogy where they should have thrown him out of the building. That was the most embarrassing thing I've actually ever heard in my entire life. That eulogy he did for Joan.
Well, he only went because Hugh Jackman was hosting it.
Yeah, I know, but still,
Hugh
it's
Jackman is a
embarrassing.
New Hamptons kind of buddy, which I didn't realize until. It's all about who the celebrity's showing up. Believe me, you ain't going to Ed Bradley's funeral unless you have somewhat A-listers there, and that's exactly. If I'm telling you, if Pat Cooper gets Robert De Niro and Scorsese to show up, Howard's going to go. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
I'm sticking
I'll
to that
believe that.
opinion.
As he's telling the story, he does unravel it all, and you go, so it's just a crap card. Like
I ran into Jimmy Fallon, and I ran into him in my house, and he said, "You know what? I have one of those cards too." So evidently, I think Melissa gave a couple of people one of these cards, but there are 65,000 typewritten cards, typewritten jokes,
and they're typed as
And
well.
I have
Who
one
wants
of them.
that?
So there
Anybody
you
could
go.
have typed it.
I'm very
Well,
impressed
there's
that I
always
have one.
the Jackie the Joke Man archive.
And
I
there's the surprise. You weren't expecting to hear Jackie's name.
I'm very,
name.
very
well,
impressed
there's
that I have
always
one.
the Jackie the Joke Man archive.
Jackie's not really on the red flag list. He's kind of in between. They will say is that they don't like to say his name, but they'll say it. They're not threatened by Jackie. He's not going to really go. For some reason, they're not threatened by him like they are everybody else. It's not that they like to bring him up, but he's not quite on the red flag list. You know what I mean? Like it's
They know that
really-
Jackie won't turn around and like
he's
bad
too.
mouth him again. Like they know he's pretty much like he's good
Hey,
wherever he is.
Bob Flossie, I agree with you. The Captain America Winter Soldier elevator scene is one of my favorite scenes in the history of motion pictures. My fantasy is to be I'm Captain America and I'm in a freight elevator with Howard and security, and I reenact that. If anyone saw the
Would you
movie.
really need Captain America's skills though? For
I don't
that
need his
fight?
skills or a super soldier serum to do that. You're right.
I mean, basically, you would just need the ability to keep a brisk walk. In that
Yes,
brisk
I
walk.
know. See what happens is I'm staring at
Silent.
Howard's scalp in the elevator, and he sees me, and the security attacks me, and I just wipe the floor with him, and then kick my shield up. in the
Wait,
right
are we
lighting.
talking Rodney security? Or are we talking about like the real? Like,
All of
The
them.
real security
All
is
of them.
dangerous.
SEAL Team
Yeah,
Sex, all
SEAL
of
Team
them.
Sex,
He'll
baby.
kill you.
SEAL Team
Those guys
Sex.
don't mess around, man.
If Howard hires security like he hires his writers, I'm gonna wipe the floor with all of them.
Oh no, he doesn't cheap out on his
No,
security. No.
That's true.
That's SEAL
true.
Team
I've
Sex,
been
man.
around
No.
entertainment security, like those type of. They're not big dudes, but you
No.
just look at them, you're like, this dude would kill me.
Yeah, as a look.
exactly.
I'm more afraid of
Just
Pat
kill
Cooper
you.
than I am Howard security.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen them. Like we saw them in the AGT video. There's some. They're
Yeah.
definitely ex-cops. They're definitely ex-cops. I'm not gonna screw with those
Yes.
guys.
Ben Benjamin,
Yeah.
yes, that's the Richard Jenney theory. That's when Richard Jenney killed himself when he got turned down by Jason and Gary condescendingly over
Are
and
you
over
serious?
again.
That he killed
was in the
Richard
rotation.
Jenney?
He is your namesake, Dennis. Richard Jenney was in the Jackie chair for several weeks.
That's right. He was.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I
Wow.
actually never heard that theory. I know wow.
You never heard that? We play that on here.
Well, I didn't know.
When they were laughing, they were cackling at the Richard Jennings suicide on the wrap-up show.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, that's what.
But I never heard the theory that they killed him.
It just led to I'm irrelevant in show business.
Oh,
He had turned 50,
if you get declined by that show, yeah, I guess so.
I can't believe Platypus Man didn't make a comeback. What's the next clip on?
He goes, what was that? Hold on. Yes, they do a bit on Jackie. There's a little bit more to that. They're doing.
I mean, he's got that.
That's right.
He's got a collection.
He did.
He's right.
Yeah.
He did make you funny. What's to laugh about?
This one's
I
for
don't know
you guys.
why he's trying to mock that.
Tell me about this because to me, Robin's voice in this clip, she just suddenly, her accent changes hugely, but I'm a foreigner. So tell me if I'm onto something because it sounds like it goes through some warp thing. Listen to this.
I just heard a story about a 14-year-old boy who's graduating from college and has a job with Elon Musk. Now, there's a kid that doesn't have anything in his way.
What is that?
Yeah, she kind of high pitched.
She's going out away.
She sounds like she's from. He actually sounds like she's from like Maryland. I mean, that's what she's starting to, the kind of that southern.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, you hear it.
That's
on
what
the
she's
wire.
going into.
Yeah,
that's it.
Jesus.
That's what I thought. Southern. I don't know.
I think in America we call that cognitive decline.
Oh wait! Oh my God! Now there's a question for me. Oh Jesus Christ!
You got an echolalia and cognitive decline. I'm impressed.
Emily or the conjoined twins?
Emily.
Well, I think one of the conjoined twins actually one likes metal and one likes disco. So yes, I'll take that.
One likes Allison, one likes Beth.
Yeah,
that's the freak factor, man. Conjoined twins, man.
Absolutely, conjoined twins over Harry Beast.
You have no idea. Like you can have two tongues and two different orifices at the same time.
Absolutely. The more I think about it,
I'm Team Emily in all the. I think she's the best resistance.
You're not fascinated by that freaky stuff, man.
She pushed back. She hates Howard and Beth, and she's the rebel in the family. I'm Team Emily all the way.
Yeah,
I know her music's crazy and she's crazy and everything, but
I love her.
Yeah, I do too. That article is great. That New York Post article, I have it sticky.
Yeah,
but
she took it back the second she realized she has no means of ever making money. So
yeah, exactly.
She's got Allison.
No, but it doesn't matter. She took it back. She could have
take it back.
She could have just walked away and let that be. But now she apologized to.
I'll take whatever I can get. I don't care what her money is. I'll take it.
Yeah.
You are the one God loves.
Oh my Christ. She's so batty. My God, she's what did Howard do to her?
Conjoined twins. I'm team
definitely conjoined twins for the win.
Absolutely. I mean, you could have two in the stink.
No, I think there's only one.
How about Pell-El, right?
Really?
One conjoined twin went to the hospital.
One likes.
I was hoping for two buttholes.
One likes choking. One likes anal. I mean, I don't know.
Pell-El writes,
wow.
One conjoined twin went to Gary's dad's funeral. The other went to the hospital with Beth. In a polo match.
Oh man!
Nice. All right.
We have to get those broads on this show.
We have to now.
I don't care what Mo has to do. You gotta get him on this show, and then have him on Zoom on two different boxes.
Tonight, a serious one-on-one.
Yeah.
A one-on-one.
Two laptops.
A one-on-two. A one-on-two. Conjoined twins.
Everybody
mic
in the chat would donate money, like $5.
I'm sure they know we have their best interest at heart, and we're not goofing on them. They'll come right on.
Absolutely. You kidding me?
All right.
Like
now,
John Doe. I wouldn't want only one twin to agree to it.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you sick bastard. Hey.
Only one can get interviewed. The other one's ignoring.
My breasts, my vagina.
Wow.
You're such a boner killer, bro.
Yes, yes, she is. There's
really
nothing about
is.
her that's sexual. There's nothing about her that's
Sexual.
She just looks like she smells like brie cheese.
and she looks like she stinks. I mean, really,
Yeah,
really stinks.
you know she does. She knows she only uses like that organic, like
And
Rite Aid,
patchouli. She
stick-on
smells like
stuff.
cheese and patchouli.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, fuck,
Like
let's
bad
move on.
broccoli.
Let's move on to the next clip.
Left in Indian food on a hot summer day.
Let's not go there. Let's talk about how. Oh, Denny. Oh, beautiful. Look what you did, Xavier. Oh my God. Let's make
That's what
him
I
full
do, bro.
screen. That'll make him feel better as well. You're
That's
right
what I
there.
do.
Oh, I'm fine. Oh my god, I almost died on that.
Howard's work ethic.
Friend.
Here's some Howard talking about his work ethic.
I certainly knew people who were way better on the radio than me, and yet I went further than them because I think I worked harder than anybody on the planet at bringing my skills up. And I even think that with painting. Like, there are guys I know who were great artists when they were kids, like they had a natural ability, but then it's too easy. And then you see them years later, they don't even remember that they used to paint or that they were good artists. It's weird. Anyway.
Wow.
All right. So
Can we all agree that, like everything else in life, when somebody has to tell you that they work hard, they're lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
everything else. When somebody has to
So-
remind you how hard. Is there
Yeah.
anybody more irritating than someone has to remind you how hard they work all the time?
Let's parse through this. First of all, you're just the luckiest bastard in the world because you hooked up with Don Buchwald. I mean, there's literally no other thing that except you hooked up with Don Buchwald.
Exactly.
And you came up at the exact right time that your act would work. You know, that is, you're just lucky. You have no work ethic. You never have. You're just lucky and you stole from the right people.
Because you signed a deal with the devil does not make
Exactly.
you a hard worker
In a
on any
fedora.
level.
And then the other part of it,
In a
kids were good at art when they're young. Yes, when they were doing finger painting, they really did nice things, and now they don't remember that they did nice. I mean, the painting thing. He keeps on trying to push that he's some sort of deep, artist, and literally he is going to Photoshop and just basically
Absolutely.
doing painting by numbers. I mean, literally, it's like painting by numbers with Photoshop. You're not painting.
Yeah.
You're not painting anything there, Wig. You're not painting anything.
But
We've
painting
already
is like the
proven that
therapy,
it isn't.
Dennis.
What?
Painting is like the therapy. It gives someone who is not
Depth.
deep fake depth. Right. I'm so evolved, and it's also a great time-consuming thing where you can go off for hours and hours, and you have an next excuse that I'm painting or I'm in therapy. It's just a great excuse.
Gunga
It's a great
Din,
excuse,
nice.
especially when you're being paid
It's also a
millions
new
to do
celebrity
show.
trend. They're all painting now with NFTs and stuff. It makes them part of that
Isn't
club where
painting
we're all
too?
trading painting. Right.
Everybody's painting. You're right.
They all are.
everybody's painting.
They all are. They're all doing it.
That's embarrassing.
right.
I mean, that's kind of embarrassing, actually.
Yes, Spandrel. I couldn't agree more.
Hey guys, I just got an original Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, nice.
I want to see Joe Montana paint Joe Montana in his Chiefs uniform
Wow.
after the Niners.
It's like that in Goodfellas. Look, one dog's looking this way, another dog's looking the other way.
You're
And
right,
this guy's
Appy.
going,
I'm
"What do you want
jealous. We're
from
not
me?"
in Dan's papers. You're right. You got me. The cult of personality.
One girl, these guys are still going.
One girl grip,
one
one girl
blood.
blood. Oh.
Spandrel, I couldn't agree more. And great job in your little Mocketeers thread. He was never a crusader for free speech. He was an arrested adolescent that liked dumb fart jokes and appealed to the lowest common denominator. I couldn't agree more, Spandrel.
All right.
Okay, let's
Next,
move on.
a beautiful email from me, and then this is great. This is very good.
Actually, I got a beautiful email from. Doesn't Trump say that? I got a beautiful email.
No, you say it, Howard.
you say
You-
yes.
You
Not
say that
Trump.
good.
Trump
Most
son,
perfect
Trump.
email from Jim.
Oh, sorry, guys. That was a bit chaotic there.
Tone
Most
cock
perfect
also.
email from.
Sorry, John. Go.
No,
go.
last thing, Tonecott. Yeah, this puts a button on it. Anyone with a staff of 70 for a glorified podcast, that hardly constitutes a work ethic on any level.
That's
You
right.
said it all, Tonecott.
Most perfect email from Jimmy Kimmel. I was feeling particularly bad about the show, about the radio show yesterday. I never think it's good. So all of a sudden I was sinking pretty deep, and then I get this email that pops in. Or a text from Jimmy Kimmel saying how great he thought yesterday's show was. He goes, "Man, I just love the Sour Shoes update. I love the There was a bunch of things he liked. But anyway, that felt like somebody throwing me a life preserver off a boat where I was sinking. You know what I mean? I was going right into the water and the sharks were circling.
This is how down he is, and he ends it with
you need
this.
validation. Look at your bank account, bastard. You want validation.
He's going down.
Guys, how many times have I said on this show, since I don't know how many years I've repeated this, one email from Kimmel, Clooney, Robert Downey Jr. constitutes all the thousands and thousands and thousands of hate tweets he gets. As long as he gets that, that's what keeps him going. The celebrity validation is all he cares. It cancels and nullifies any of the negativity that the Stern codes give him.
But the part of this that is so troubling is that, was it a text or an email? Because there's a giant difference between the two things. And he doesn't know what he got from Jimbo Kimball, so I think it's fake. He just wanted to name drop and say he's doing a great show.
Sure.
I don't even think he gets it. I think Beth gets the email or the text and he reads it. She reads it to Howard.
I don't know. I don't think he wants us seeing his emails.
He sees all of it. He all beefs go to him. He gets copied.
Like she's in the background and goes, Howard, Jimmy said the show is great.
That's messed up if that's true. If
that is true. He actually admitted to that, 4 years ago?
That's not cool. That's codependent, you know?
Well, yeah, he's a psychopath. What do you
expect from those two twats?
He's a sociopath.
How depressed he is. He ends it with this comment.
Yeah. I mean, I get through the day fine. I just don't feel right.
Howard Stern, 2023. Whoa, I get through the day.
God,
I just don't feel right. That's so depressing.
I don't feel right.
John, by this point, you're rocking up to work, listening, and then you hear that as you get out of your car. What is he trying to do?
He is working from his studio, which is in a bowling alley in his basement. What is there to be depressed about?
Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yeah.
There's a little part of him that knows how bad the show is.
Have to have two jobs.
That's right.
A dad who's working 10 hours a day, then is an Uber driver at night to make ends meet. You have single parents. You have all this crap that's going on. But he feels down.
Yeah, Pellel, Kimmel actually created the term Stern Coat. It wouldn't even, we have all sorts of Howard haters. But Gutterball, Reddit, it was Kimmel that actually coined the term Stern Coat. There's a thing inside of Howard deep down that knows how bad the show is. So he needs this over and over again, whether it's Stephanopoulos or Kimmel or Seinfeld or whoever.
Well,
I don't even think they're listening. They just say that.
The thing is, you if you have a pulse and you're doing this type of work, you know that it's not very good. I mean, you if you have a pulse, you deep down, you have that deep down knowledge that this is barely effort, that you're not putting any effort in. You're just kind of there.
We've heard Kimmel on the show, Dennis. I mean, when he tells him how great the show is, he never has an actual thing of why the show is great.
He doesn't listen. No, everybody that says they listen does not listen. I'm very, very sure of that, because there's no way you would be listening to this current show and talking about how great this is or how great the interviews are if you actually listened to the show. And it's so disingenuous when they come on and say they listen. They may have listened 20 years ago, but they sure as hell aren't listening to this product, because there's no way you could listen to this and go, yeah, that's entertaining, because it isn't. It's not.
Your point, though, the point you made, John, is perfect. He just says it right
feeling
here.
Particularly bad about the show, about the radio show yesterday.
Tell him why it's great, Jimmy.
I never think it's good.
There it is. Look at that. He can actually admit it now. And that's not a humble brag.
Well, it's also too. He also acts like he's this, I can't be satisfied, tortured artist that I'm always improving. Yeah, I'm a perfectionist and I can't. I can't stop.
Maybe that's what he's trying to say in that.
He's lazy.
But his level of quality, right? I've stopped thinking, Howard knows what's good for the. No, he does not know what's good for the show. That's gone away well over a decade ago.
I see in the comments, G Canada thinks I'm wrong because he thinks Howard's a narcissist and he thinks everything he does is great. No, Howard is truly. He knows the product is mediocre but does not care. There's a difference. If you don't care it doesn't bother you. And if it doesn't bother you, it's perfectly fine. And you still get paid. Perfectly
And
fine.
that takes us back to the Pelican Brief, where he's blaming his
Everyone
staff
else.
for everything on that show is left to his own device. It's what he wants. He greenlights everything. He books it. He turns every guest down. Nothing is foisted on him. He has no accountability or rules. It's all his fault. And he tried to blame the effing staff in that meeting, which is hilarious on
you
its
guys
own.
Hey, John, you want to hear an X-File theory I have now? I think he was really counting on that HBO thing to be a thing. I think he was thinking,
you're right. He always does.
I think he was thinking that's going to be that extra paycheck, that side hustle that he's been so used to at this point. Getting that extra check. And I think
he was going to coast on one interview for 3 years. Like Charlie Rose did that every night. He's going to coast in that one Springsteen interview for how many years? Like that's literally two Charlie Rose interviews.
It doesn't matter because I think he thought deep down his heart, HBO is going to pick that up. That's going to become another paycheck. Have you seen the pictures of Beth lately? She's always got like $100,000 worth of jewelry on now.
Yep,
I know. She's still burning through that money, and I think Howard's looking at that. He's refreshing his bank account, and it's like, why do the numbers keep going down?
You know what?
Why do they keep going down?
If you really think about it, the jealousy of Letterman is so apparent because Letterman got that beautiful deal from Netflix to do a horrible show, but because he's Letterman, he just did what six shows.
Yeah, we said that on here. He's jealous. As soon as Letterman, that's his dream. Is to have
we went over that
6 interviews a year.
When we analyzed that whole thing, I mean, he is so incredibly jealous of that deal where it was almost no work, and he got paid $20 million or $25 million?
Yeah, it's like $25 million. Yeah, he kept reading
You're right.
figure.
That's
over
what
and over
Howard
again.
wanted. He wanted that $20 to $25 million paycheck for doing almost nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Oh well.
David is a good post here. He was like, my favorite Pelican Brief moment is he's yelling about pictures of Jeff the Drunk in the green room, scaring the celebrity guests. And yet, Jeff the Drunk exists in pop culture because of Howard's sensibility and putting him on the show. Like he's blatant. It's such a great. It's everything. He can't take accountability for his own proclivities. That's the irony of the stupid Pelican Brief.
All right, let's go. Let's go to. This kind of dominated the stupid episode. Beth and the house.
I realize how much Beth is in charge of stuff around here. Like she wasn't here, so like I didn't even put on the alarm for the house. Like she does all that. I didn't even know how. Like she just left me, and I was unprotected. I was just like, what am I going to do if the alarm goes off in the middle of the night? I don't even know how to turn it off.
You don't know how to turn it off.
No, I don't know anything. She runs the show. She goes, I'm the man in this family. I go, you're damn right.
You don't
and I enjoy.
check the doors at night. You're not that guy.
I enjoy being a girl.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I don't think he's gay after that. She left me notes all over the house for stuff I had to do. Like I was dreading getting up this morning. I even got up early because she left me notes of which cats I had to feed and do my chores. And I got up. I'm like, I'm a big star. Millions of people are waiting to hear my words. On the now, what is this?
Fake self-deprecation?
What, I can't do. I have to blow off steam. How could she do this to me?
And then he doesn't like.
Parse.
Okay,
let's parse through this because first of all, Consuela is feeding the cats, not him. He doesn't do a damn thing. Those hands have never opened a can. Forget about actually doing work. They've never opened a can. So there's no way he fed the cats. Beefus didn't leave notes around the house because...
Plus, Dennis, wouldn't a germaphobe wouldn't go anywhere near the notion of feeding a cat?
He's a fake germaphobe because the cat goes up on the counter. Cats don't go on my counter. I'm not even a big germaphobe as him. And
they go
ain't no cat on my counter.
Okay. That's true, yeah.
I mean, it's insane. And then he first of all, the staff arms the alarm in the house, and then he has SEAL Team Sex protecting him. So I mean,
absolutely, because he's important.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no he doesn't have ADT. He's not putting in his code and locking the house up at night. That's not happening there. I'm sorry. Please.
I want to ask a question of everybody, including the chat. Sure. Do you think that we are victim of? Have you ever heard of the sunk cost fallacy?
No, I haven't.
No. Tell.
Sunk cost fallacy. That is like people who continue watching like The Walking Dead all the way through the end just because you've invested so much time into it,
Right.
even though it's horrible. The sunk cost fallacy describes our tendency to follow through on an endeavor if we have already invested time, effort, or money into it, whether or not the costs outweigh the benefits. So, do you think at this point we're that one group of people that are just watching this ship sink into the water just because we've already put so much time into it?
Yeah,
That's a real thing. You can look it up.
Yes. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of watching Solo, a Star Wars movie. I said, damn it, we turned it on the TV. We're going to finish watching this no matter how much it hurts.
John Doe here. People can Google this if they want. I'll just put it on the chat.
Jesus, that is wow.
The problem is
Yeah.
this has been bad for a decade. So we've been torturing ourselves far longer than any of those other things you're mentioning.
But you know what?
This is a
It's
slow
like I
burn.
heard that a while back, and I was like, "Wow, that kind of describes us." in
Jesus,
CERN.
it does.
It's
Oh, I
the
feel so
sunk cost
depressed now.
fallacy.
Now there's more because he's got to do the dishes.
It was weird. So yeah, after I ate dinner, I cleaned up, washed the dishes, threw out the garbage, and I mumbled the whole time. I can't believe I have to do all this.
And then Robin tells a weird story.
I heard a story the other day, and I thought about you. It was about a guy who's a former NFL football player or something, but I don't remember his name. His niece and his son were in the water playing, in the ocean or whatever, and they got caught in a riptide.
Yeah.
And he had to run out and swim to go save their lives.
Yeah.
And when he got there, his niece was doing worse than his son. So then he had to make a decision.
Oh,
Do
my
I
God.
save my son or go to my niece?
Oh, how
Can
horrible.
you imagine? And he
Isn't that
saved
called
the
Sophie's
niece.
Choice?
Then he saved his son. He
Wow.
saved them both, but he had to make that decision because she thought she was dying right there and then
Wow.
and was going to give up.
Man, that's awful. I
Where the hell?
Where did she
honestly,
get this
people,
from?
all right, people listening that did not hear the show, there was no setup before that for Robin to go on that total insane story. There was no Sophie's Choice stuff beforehand.
No, it doesn't even
She
bring
just,
it up.
out of the blue, told that story, and Howard is utterly and absolutely confused, like every human that heard that. I mean, that was pointless. It literally was a pointless story.
It's like Bianca in the pool, right? Jeremy spoke. I was thinking
Both of
the
them
same
got
thing.
saved.
Yeah.
Both of them got saved. It's like, okay, and where's the irony here,
There's
Blobbin?
no Sophie's Choice there.
There's no Sophie's Choice, and it's not like Peter Parker having to make a choice to save his girlfriend or his girlfriend and his uncle. No, it's literally they both got saved. Okay, Robin, that's great. Yeah.
She clearly never saw Sophie's Choice.
No,
That's
she has
not
no
how
idea
that
what it
one
means.
ended. No. By the way,
And
if anybody saw Sophie's Choice, man, I'd rather punch myself in the nuts and watch that scene again. That's just the most brutal.
I've never
scene
seen
ever.
it. Don't want to see it.
Oh, it's so brutal. It's not
I
like
can't.
gratuitous, but it's just like
I
cuts you to
can't.
the core.
Dennis, I thought you'd return the favor because Meryl Streep listens to the show. It's only right.
I'm sorry. I just can't.
Abe Rizzo goes, "Where's the lifeguard?" Well, it's like Son of the Beach. Abe Rizzo. Tim Stack goes off duty at 6:00 and chases. What was the Schwarzenegger knockoff on that show?
Jesus.
What was that name of that guy? We'll just say Lila
Was it Glenn
Arciera.
Close? I don't remember.
No, he had like a German name. They gave him a big German name. Oh,
I forget.
Crap, I can't think of it.
Oh God, I forget.
Now,
I actually
Beth
liked that
didn't-
show.
Beth didn't check on Howard though, and he's frazzled by
Chris
this.
Wilding was once on Canadian Match Game.
Oops, I've doubled up here. So Chris Wilde. This is the only reason I'm going to play this is because of what Chris says at the end. So just
Chris Wilding was once on Canadian Match Game when he was younger. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
I got the tape of it. Here it is. This is Chris Wilding on Match Game.
And then they play it, and then Chris comes on and says this.
Chris, you were killing as a contestant. I mean, you were really doing well on there. By the way, the match
I can't
game
believe you
audience
guys found that. That's
I know.
crazy.
You can't believe they found it, but you emailed it to Gary probably.
Yeah, I know.
Gee, guys,
Really.
I can't believe you found that. What?
really doing well on there. By the way,
I
match
can't
game
believe you guys
audience.
found that. That's
I know.
crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. Because the video on YouTube of it would have been titled "Chris Wilding is on." That's how they found it. No, you sent it to them. Fuck, I don't.
Well,
Now,
that's the Stern Show 2023 right there. There
Why
it
would
is.
this be any more authentic than the rest of the lies they tell?
exactly. Now, here we go. We got a clip on this, and do you want to? You provided this article here on screen.
Oh yeah, because he was talking. Yeah, I didn't know if we.
We talked about it on Monday. It was embarrassing.
Who is this by?
And
Who's this imbecile? You can usually click on their name and see other articles.
It's somebody who's probably gets paid by publicists to
We
write
should
garbage.
contact her. Ekin Karisian.
I
Lando
bet if you click
Calrissian
on
is
it,
just
you
made
can
up
see
the-
their
yeah.
other article. Yeah, their other articles.
Sorry.
Oh, look at that
Sorry.
face.
Oofa.
It's like a
Wow.
chameleon with a wig on.
Oofa.
Oh, and his
Look at
head
those
looks
eyes.
huge.
Look at those jowls. Look
The
at the
suit's
jowls
too
on him.
tight.
Can we stop for a
Yeah.
second? Let's stop for a
Sorry.
second and just analyze this face. Look at the cheeks because he was getting the injections and it's just not working right. Look at that. Look at that line running. That's not natural down the middle of his cheek. That one right there. Look at that. Like
crazy.
Here.
Jesus Christ.
Madame
We got-
Tussauds
we got
claymation.
something.
It looks
See
like a
this?
vagina. I mean, look at
Oh, yeah, you're not wrong. Wow.
You know,
and look at those
I did it
teeth.
before in Photoshop. If you remove the nostrils, that's a penis. Like put your fingers on the nostrils and just
Oh
look
yeah,
at the middle.
it is.
You did it, wait, Xavier.
But
You did it
everybody
in
do that right now.
Photoshop.
Just,
He has-
You
just
did
pee-
that.
He has
your
a
fingers
pee-pee
over the
nose.
nostrils and leave the nose. That's a
He has a
penis.
pee-pee nose.
He totally has a penis
Coliseum,
nose.
that's good. Rico Gasek. That's so good.
Yeah, but
Oofa.
Rico
Rhea
Kasich had-
Perlman.
That's obscene.
And Rico Kasich married a real model.
Yeah, a real Mado.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Look at this. One wrote on Reddit, "Bring back Howard." So that was JD, probably.
Yes.
Yeah, so you also the Pelican brief, right? What was one of the goal? One of the tasks the staff has to do is send articles to all the stupid online publications to get him publicity. That's why you have the staff of 70. That's what they do all the time.
If you go into the comments, the staff actually was making comments in the comments.
Yeah, that's
because-
we know the fake tweets just say it all. I
We
mean,
read that.
There's
We
no
read-
level they won't stoop to try to get him publicity.
But yeah, the comments on the article were basically this. You could tell the staff wrote these positive comments.
I bet if you
Oh,
could
right.
click on the IP address of all the comments, it'd be like the same exact IP.
It was the same one.
It's the
Well,
same
how many
IP from,
times,
like,
Xavier? How
years.
many times do you get IPs from the Sirius address?
I
when
get them
you-
once in a while. I do. There are still a couple of active people from now on that has.
What was the
the
weirdest
Sirius
IP
XM.
address you got that you knew was completely linked to
We,
them?
we had someone from like NASA once. I'm like, dude,
That's amazing.
Oh, that was
I
my
like
VPN.
that.
That was
You're
my
supposed to be
NASA
doing more
VPN.
important things than being on the site. Kind of
NASA.
NASA.
Oh my god.
We had a
Shit.
NASA URL IP. Yeah.
So it was a rocket
We got all kinds
surgeon.
of weird
Great.
stuff. Yeah.
I wanna get an
best
IP
one though. The best one was it was a Sirius XM corporate.
Oh wow.
And it came straight
cool.
from the tower, the hotel, the apartment where he lives in by Central Park.
Oh, it said
Yeah,
101
it's
West
creepy.
67.
Yeah, we looked
right,
because you
Columbus.
click on it, it shows you on the map, and the map was right on his apartment.
So it's like Beth
Jesus.
trying to join or
It's
Tony
someone.
Coburn or something.
Yeah,
It was Beth.
What are they saying about me? They have a whole thing about me.
Of course. If you
Here we
knew
go.
a whole forum was talking about you all the time, wouldn't you
it
try
could
to
have been
join
his
her on
maid
some
for all
level?
I know. I don't care, but yeah,
Think about
it was
that,
still
right?
kinda
Who talks
peculiar.
about her more than us? Nobody. There's a whole
No one
that
else.
kind of
No
thread
one
that
else talks about it. No.
You would
no one
try
does.
to
we
everything
have
in your
had-
power to join.
we had an IP that pinged 2 blocks from the Florida house, and we've had one that was within several blocks of Squabble Lane too. So all three of his homes have been represented on our site at one point or the other.
You got to screenshot that and share it with the class. You got to.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
we're being deprived.
Let's crack on. So he's going to talk about this article.
It was a big article about how fans do not want Simon Cowell to return to America's Got Talent because he's turned into a real puss, and they want Howard Stern back. Which I don't know if that's true or not, but I sent it to my wife so that she would see. Remind her that I'm very famous.
Who would even think of that as a subject? That must be some meat to that, right?
Who would ever think of that as a subject? She says.
Wow.
To make up.
Remind her that I'm very famous.
That's great.
Who would even think of that as a subject? That must be some meat to that, right?
Jesus.
I guess. I don't know. But I was very complimented by it. But I was wondering if that would ever happen. I was hoping that maybe fans would not like that asshole.
Dennis, I got to tell you, I said this the other day. I listened to the Beth clip today on my own. I went and it's the only thing I listened to. I really officially hate his voice more than Beth's, and I don't even think it's close. I hate his voice beyond anything. I can't stand that Darth Kermit and the low talking restrained and the low energy bullshit.
I don't know.
I hate his voice with all my heart and soul. I hate it far more than I hate Beth's. It's not even close.
I don't know. Beth's voice is basically nails on a chalkboard. I mean, his is annoying, but its voice is.
It's all the
painful.
effort that goes into his voice. When I think about all the production that goes into it as well, it makes me hate it even more.
Yeah,
I can't take his voice. I know what to expect. At least we know what to expect with her voice, right?
Well,
we know it's always the same.
The way I look at it, John, is I know Darth Vader isn't Anakin's real voice.
Right? Yeah.
The computers and stuff.
Yeah.
Beth, on the other hand,
you have a Star Wars comparison for every single thing we do. It's amazing.
Well, you're
really
gonna love this next one. Beth, her voice is the equivalent of the sound someone makes when they have a tapeworm being removed from their penis.
We're about to hear her, but
yes,
she doesn't wear a bra, and this is important.
Hey, are we just going to gloss over the fact that Beth eats dinner with you without a bra?
What's to say? I mean, that's it.
How did this start? What like the first time
she'll put on a she doesn't believe in like going down to the meals with she says at dinner we should get a little bit dressed up, and she puts on a nice outfit, and most of them do not have a bra.
And now she's gonna call in because
wait, so hold on, wait, quick, I would stop for the fake phone call. Who was at the desk? It's 3 down from Jason Kaplan.
Absolutely.
Beefus's attachments there. They right now they're resembling socks filled with nickels. I mean, because the implants are out. And you can tell in some of the pictos when it's with the kittens, it doesn't have a bra on, and those things are down by its belly button. I mean, seriously, they are just hanging there.
They are pointing towards the grave, bro.
Yeah, exactly. They're not sexy. There's nothing sexy going on down there, and that thing doesn't wear a bra. So this fake phone call to try to make Beefus an angel and a saint is just kind of painful, actually. So let's move on.
So she calls in because of what Howard was saying earlier in the clips of missing her and all this.
I had such a nice night, and the whole time I'm having my nice night, your voice is in my head and my ears telling me that I'm doing something wrong by going out, and that wasn't fair.
Yeah, but with Ashley getting married, we can't get COVID.
I took the proper. I wore a mask everywhere. I ate outside.
That is so funny.
Didn't sit in our house seats. We sat up in the balcony of the play, not to be near anybody. But the whole time I'm feeling horrible. I can't even enjoy myself.
Well, that's not my fault.
Listening to you this morning because I missed you, and you're complaining again, and I'm just upset. I'm very mad at you right now.
Can I make it up to you?
No, I need to process, and I need to...
Oh, you're still coming home, though, aren't you?
Of course I am, but...
That part, are you still coming home? Like, what is it? She's gonna move out?
Oh, you're still coming home, though, aren't you?
Of course I am, but maybe
I love you. Listen,
because God forbid that
No,
I walk
wait.
past somebody on the street
Honey.
and blue in my face.
I want to apologize first of all.
You shouldn't apologize. You're just going through the motions.
She knows he's full of shit. With
I love you so much. I missed you.
I love you.
I love you
Mad.
too. I
I'm
know.
allowed to be
Don't be
mad at
mad. Don't be mad
I'll
because
see you soon.
when you come home, I'm going to give you a treat.
Lucky me.
Oh!
I love you.
Love
Goodbye.
you too, bud.
Oh!
Mm.
Oh, lucky
I just want to say two emotions.
All right,
what
hey,
did you say?
Sanjobio, can you
Wait.
share my screen? Please,
sure,
please,
yeah.
please put this up.
Does she know that her Instagram is public?
So you
There you
know,
go, thank you.
let's analyze. These are pictos from the other day. See, there's no diaper, no diaper on the face there. It looks, that looks right. And that's a plebeian. Oh wait, there's two more plebeians.
I wear a
And,
mask
oh yeah, well,
everywhere.
look at that. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah,
Take
yeah,
all the
okay. Oh wait,
precautions.
look, there's three
I wear a
plebeians
mask everywhere.
everywhere. Okay,
Everywhere.
yeah. All right, those aren't your family.
And that was just this weekend.
That was this weekend. This is just
Literally.
kitten dump. These
They
are
were
just
in
kitten
72
dumps.
hours.
This isn't going out with its friends or going to dinner or going drinking or whatever. This is just dumping kittens. And look at that. Look at that. Yeah.
Man,
okay,
that
Howard,
hat
keep
is
it up there.
so old. She's had that hat for
Cookie mouth
years.
with
Yeah.
strangers.
The first time I
Well,
saw
the
that was
hair-
a Stuttering John Cabby fight. That hat.
The hair
that
is
she was-
attached to it. That's why. So, you know.
So his
you
job
could-
is to perpetuate the COVID fear. So he's still talking about this. It's so crazy. She knows he's full of shit, and she has to kind of chime in. And that patronizing kind of like fake baby talk he has with her. There's nothing worse than their repartee, ever. I mean, I again, I can't wait for her to crack. Please get a divorce. Please crack. Please take whatever payout you have, Beth. Please. Nothing could be more glorious in this world for her to fucking
Well, what do you
walk on
think?
him.
What do you think?
Please write a book.
What do you think it said to Omar after it got off the phone with Howard?
Omar Marino. Omar.
Who is that? Oh, that's
Was
that
that a
pain
Wire
in the
reference,
ass.
Dennis?
What?
Is that a Wire reference? The Wire?
No,
Omar?
no, it's
Or
from
Omar
one of
Marino?
its previous clients.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Omar,
She
the
goes.
tent
You know
maker.
what's funny, Dennis? Is she goes from I'm wearing a mask to I didn't say stop sucking.
This wedding, how
happening
how
in-
is-
Do we have the clip? Do we have the clip of when Blobbin blats out the date of the wedding?
No.
All right, so
she
right
doesn't
af-
say the date. She says
right
10
after this,
days.
yeah, right after that happened, Blobbin goes, "Oh my God, yeah, you have to be careful. The wedding's in 10 days." Thank you, Robin. So it is the 23rd. Thank you. And Howard's like humming. Just literally like why did she? Because he doesn't want the date to be said because that's when he's going to go on vacation.
what kind of conversations do you think Allison's having with her, saying, "Don't let your father dominate this wedding with his bullshit and take over with his
so
neurosis,
much.
make it all about." That's the pure That's what I want to hear. The conversation Allison's having, not just with the daughters, or the groom side of the family.
Oh,
You
there's
know, and this.
Do
Emily is
you think that,
Allison is definitely laying down the law with Ashley. Definitely laying down the law.
They're gonna get his money anyway. Like, so why?
exactly.
Even,
It doesn't matter.
Why not just push back?
Do you
Right.
think he writes physical text or just like he does like a electronic?
I don't think he
Accountant.
sees any of it.
The accountant does it. He
Yeah,
doesn't
the
do
accountant
anything.
does it.
The accountant does it. He doesn't.
It's somehow
I
it's
can
a
see Ashley
112
having
right
that
off.
bank app where you can scan the checks right there.
Just put yourself in Allison's shoes, having to deal with this piece of shit dominating the weather with it, and then having this crazy heightened COVID fake bullshit that's still looming with the mask that nobody else in the wedding is buying into this except him.
Yeah,
Including
except for
Beth.
Allison who left all the way to the bank. Come on, not like she was a baby in the woods. She knew what a degenerate he was. Come on.
What does that mean? How does that affect her opinion on the wedding?
Oh no, I'm just saying. Like she knows that her ex-husband's a scumbag. She knew he was a scumbag.
No, but
when
I'm
he was
saying,
married to
and
him.
it would make me her constantly going over. She has to capitulate to him over the entire wedding and the guests. And Allison's, got to say so on this.
There's no
I
way.
got to
yeah.
know what you think.
There's no way that
I just think there's
Ashley's
no
capitulating.
innocent party members in this whole scenario. I think they're all kind of a different stages of lectures.
After that call from Beth, you're right, Dennis, about this. There's something off with Robin today. The medication wasn't strong enough because after that Howard and Beth thing, Robin adds this to the ending.
think
I
I'm in the
just want
shit
to
house.
say two emotions can't reside in the same place at once.
Now,
Wait,
whoa.
whoa.
I'm keeping that as a drop because that. Let's hear it again.
I just want to say two emotions can't reside in the same place at once.
What?
Anyone?
There's also physics, right? Where two objects can exist in the same.
So you can't have a solid and a liquid in the same. I'm not sure.
I don't know what she was talking about.
She's quoting Brendan Murphy, Dennis.
I think
that's
she's
like,
trying.
That's almost
think
as
she's-
good as when
She's trying to be deep.
That's almost as good as when she said that when the U.S. bombed Pearl Harbor. I mean, Jesus.
I think she's
going
trying.
on?
I think she's trying to say that their personalities clash.
No, I think you can't be happy. One person can't be needy and
But
the other person be
no,
angry. I
she's
don't
meaning
know.
that they just had an argument, though. That's what she's saying. They can't get
understand
along.
that, but-
They can't get along. They shouldn't be together. She might be saying something actually profound
you know what? I
there.
think she's just
They're
trying
not
to
meant for
do
each
one of
other.
I think she was trying to do one of our conjoined twins jokes. I think.
Abe Rizzo in Laundry Room, they're all asking, so has it been established? Is Robin actually invited to the wedding? Have they
she
remotely
must be.
touched on that?
She blabbed the date, so she has to be. She blabbed the
you're right.
date.
All right, I'll give you, all right.
She's a regular stupid Hawkins.
Yes, she is. So yeah, one twin's an introvert, one twin's an extrovert. It's great.
None of the staff, I know the rest of the staff. We'll never know the rest of the. I'd say no.
No,
None of the
definitely
staff
not.
is invited.
Maybe Gary. Maybe.
That would be that'd be the only one I'd give a shot in hell to be invited.
Not Fred.
Fred's not going to his own daughter's wedding.
Yeah, Fred
so
isn't
it's
going.
definitely not
Yeah.
Fred.
So yeah.
All right, so we go to this, which I just chopped it and put it in because I didn't want to hear it, and we probably only listened to half of it. But there's a Peloton song that gets played. So, I think, did anyone hear it, or we
I
all
heard
hearing
it.
for
I
the
said
first
it was.
time?
I literally found a Charles Barkley thing, and it just said terrible. Literally terrible.
Okay.
It is. I mean, this is the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
After this, can we put a moratorium on this shit or not bring up Peloton ever again? I don't even want
I'd
to.
love
I'm
that.
so
I'd
sick
love
of the
half
word.
the things we
I don't
talk
even want to
about.
hear the word again.
Oh, if we're going to
Peloton.
do moratoriums, I'd love to do half of the things.
We should have a moratorium every show, like ban a word.
Ban talking about private
again.
parts. Ban
Yes,
talking,
private
anyway.
parts is a good one. That's a very good one. Private
Here we
parts
go.
Peloton.
So I'll pause this halfway through, and we can say what we'll give some opinions on this song.
This is Peloton Girl, Robin, my new hit song.
All right.
All right, Peloton, we're working up a sweat. Let's finish strong in 3, 2, 1.
Peloton girl, you are my world. Don't tell my wife I'm hard on this bike. I'm losing weight, I'm losing jizz. Peloton shakes, sit on my stage. My balls are stuck to my thighs. I can't believe what you look like. Taking your class, loving your ass. Give it to me. I wanna get it on with a girl from Peloton. I wanna get it
Not enough. Have we suffered enough?
The girl from Peloton was in 2019.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, man, it's been a minute. It was before COVID.
Oh, that's
hilarious.
bad.
Bring
Yeah,
back
that's
Jack.
really bad. Fuck.
Yeah,
All right,
so
so
Oh.
my opinion is it sounded like it was a song put together over Zoom. I mean, honestly, every part of that song did not go with the other.
It's not good. It sounds like the crap I make. You know, that's
No,
terrible.
the crap you make actually sounds good. This is
it's
literally
embarrassing
three
me.
people that have different scripts trying to make a movie. I mean, there was no cohesiveness at
You're
all.
right. It just
I
sounded
agree
like
with
a...
Lucy Richards. Does Howard sound like a guy who's rehearsing, Dennis? Who's going to practice?
No, that was one take,
Tone cop.
Howie.
Tone
One take,
cop.
I agree with Lucy
You are
Richards.
right. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Nickelback. Nickelback have
Bad
a few kind
Nickelback,
of
which-
heavier songs on each album. This is the kind of shit where he'll yell over it. Let's scoot to the second verse and see if it gets any better.
I love the auto tune.
I just jizz right in the bag. I wanna be your guy. Just because huge boobs, sticky and sweaty. That's what I like. Sticky and sweaty. That's what I like. Sticky and sweaty.
Okay, we're good. I'm good.
Oh
Yeah,
God,
we're
please make it stop.
So it's Steve Nowicki on guitar for sure.
Kill yourself, Steve Nowicki. Kill yourself.
You should
if it's a
really break the
solo.
guitar over your head.
Anyone who contributes to this, kill yourself.
But just,
I'm just
Good
gonna
luck
check
getting a
if-
job after this show, Nowicki. And if I see you on the street, I'm laying you out.
I mean,
You're a smug fuck.
and the thing is,
I hate everybody on this
and
show.
Richard is on the drums, but it's like he's playing a different song. It's like he's not keeping time or doing any double time.
Don't
or...
analyze this crap, Dennis.
No, I'm sorry. I had to. I've heard it twice now.
Let's not bring up
I've heard it twice, and
syncopation
it literally, you could not ask. You could not ask for something that could not be produced worse than that.
It's pretty bad.
I mean,
Great
that's
ice,
seriously
John.
pretty bad.
Oh,
It's
it
like,
was.
remember-
Scintillating
remember Knight Rider
repartee.
Nick?
I get better
Aquaman.
conversation from the android.
You guys remember
No,
Knight Rider where they could never get the real songs? It was always some like cheesy version of a song whenever they had to play
Yeah.
something.
That was
It's
the
like
Mr.
that.
Feeney
It's
that
like
did
that garbage.
Kit
Wow,
was
that's-
Mr. Feeney.
I wonder. I didn't get Howard's comments after it. I'm sure he's like, "Isn't that wonderful?" Ugh.
He pretty much was. He was like, he was like, I think it's pretty good. I just kind of put the lyrics together. Yeah, we can tell. I don't know if I really want them to use this now. Yes, you do. It's just really, it is as awful and podcasty, and it's actually insulting podcast because it's that bad. I mean, kids in high
know what?
school and garage bands make better music.
I would forgive them if they were funny, but it's not. It's
Yeah, they're not even going for comedy. It
corny.
doesn't know what it wants
It's
to do.
corny at
But he
best.
thinks it's tongue in cheek, but it's not even right. There's
corny.
no.
There's nothing funny. There's
not even like.
nothing funny about it.
Yeah, make it funny, and you can be as shitty as you want.
Well, you'd have to bring back Jackie to do that.
Yeah.
In order to-
And you're talking
But
about something that everybody was talking about, what, 4 years ago now? Whatever it is?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, the only
man.
reason you talk about Peloton now is because they're circling the toilet. I mean, really bad. Like they're basically on life support.
Okay, let
at
us
this
all
point.
agree. No more Peloton mentions after this.
I
I've had
understand it,
I
but right
can't-
now
I
it's a
can't
part
get
of
part
it.
Moratorium.
It's
I'll
a
make
part
a drop
of it
for
right
that.
now.
Howard's parents,
Moratorium.
private parts in Peloton. I can't do it. I can't talk about it anymore.
And
What
everyone
does
in the
it- what does it
chat,
do
you
for
know?
anybody? We're all getting stupider fixating on this.
Let's get
No,
some
I'm trying to
comments in the
educate
chat
people.
going
Okay,
as well.
You
Get-
want to break it down, even like go to that X-File level again? Peloton, if you remember, became famous because this skinny girl was told by her husband she did a great job of losing weight when she was skinny to begin with. That was a whole
Yes.
controversy. She was trying
Anorexic
to
radio.
like, it was kind of like a Beth situation where she's trying to get really, really skinny. And like, I'm so proud of myself. And like, she looked like she weighed 70 pounds when the commercial started and 71 when the commercial ended. So it's like, people got
Some
really
beef.
offended by that. So if you really want to break it down, him singing about Peloton Girl, it's very much the life he lives with Beth.
If anybody listening wants moratoriums, leave a comment on
No,
what you want.
no,
Every
no.
If you
episode,
want to
a
get
new
rid of
thing wiped
something
out.
that
No,
we don't
no,
talk about
absolutely
anymore,
not.
why
Private
not?
parts, his
I
parents,
think
and
I think
Peloton.
Monique
No.
would agree that
I
moratoriums could come into effect, buddy.
I don't
Because
think
it's
so.
been getting excruciating in the last couple of years. Like we don't need to go over some of it, but I do want to record moratorium. Or do you want to record, Dennis? Give me a moratorium. Give me for the come on.
Moratorium.
There it is. Of course, you could come on with some effort, John. Give me a big one.
Well, what effort do you want, Olivier? I mean, moratorium.
You got one, Johnny?
Moratorium.
Yeah. And John, what would Johnny Depp say if he'd heard the show today? Does he have any comments on Howard's show today, do you think?
You know what, guys, I can't take it anymore. How about we put some kind of moratorium on Peloton? I'd be fine with that at this juncture.
Beautiful. All right, let's crack on. If anyone's wondered how many days Howard sees a therapist, he tells us now.
How many days a week are you in therapy at this point?
Twice.
Okay.
I've
well,
cut
I
down
mean,
from
so,
4.
Yeah, it stands to
Yeah.
reason that maybe
So that's now we know twice.
Oh, I can't stand
For
Andy
future.
Cohen's voice.
So Andy's
oh
on.
my
Of
God.
course, I forgot to introduce Andy. Andy's on,
Oh,
and I
I
only
hate
got
his
a
voice.
few. I only got a few clips because
Oh, his voice is
Guys, as
grating.
far as therapy goes, I mean, he lies about everything else on the face of it. Why not therapy? Why would you possibly believe he
why?
tells the truth about therapy?
Because this is why. Because
I don't.
in
I
his
don't.
mind, because in his mind, the therapist is like the only person that actually listens to him. So he actually probably tells these crazy stories and these other ideas to this therapist, who just sits there and just counts the money. I mean, honest to God, he's such a narcissist that he feels that no one else can understand him except this therapist. So
Yeah,
that's
I
my
mean,
point.
I don't believe he goes.
I
That's your theory. I don't believe he goes. I think he's just too arrogant for his own therapist. I don't think there's anything you can tell. I think it's just a great lie to get out of things. I'm so deep, I go to therapy.
Well,
I don't
Dennis
believe
doesn't
he goes.
believe he goes. Do
I
you,
don't-
Dennis? You don't.
No, I do.
You,
I actually still believe
Oh.
he, because you got to remember
Oh.
in his insane mind that he thinks that just going and talking about lyrics to Rolling Stone songs to this guy is actually helping him somehow. Because he
Well, the
can't
therapy was
just-
supposed to be the kids, right? That's his
well,
alibi.
That's
Is
long
that it's
and,
supposed
that's
to
long
get my
and gone
relationship
now.
to get-
That's
That's
long
right.
and gone. That's long
Initially,
gone.
it was court ordered.
Yeah, but this is a whole.
Moratorium.
On therapy?
This could do.
On
Hold I
therapy?
gotta-
Yeah, I might
let
be
me
into that too.
Let me put a bit of. I'll
Fungal.
put a bit of echo onto this. Moratorium. I haven't used that before, so
and no, and people asking for Puzzle. Puzzle has passed out asleep on her pillow. She's done for the evening.
That's
for the
right.
last
Kat.
time, let's
boo,
ask.
I'm out. I'm out.
We love
Artist
Puzzle.
syndrome.
See you guys.
She's a prima donna. What do I want? What do you want
How
from
can
me?
we go without the puzzle mustache? Come on, man.
It's just not happening. She's
Slowly, the traditions are dying on this show. Slowly.
What about you, Xavier? What about you? Before we enter it into the moratorium, what do you think? Does Howard go at all weekly to therapy or no?
I think he does. I think he is such. He's basically an infant, and he needs his mama, and any sort of fake positivity that where someone is just, you're so good, you're self affirmation type of shit. He can't survive without. So, and
I think he'd
God
rather get
knows-
it from celebrities and therapists.
I think in his mind it's a professional. So if he thinks
Yeah.
I'm a good guy,
remember
it
he
must
is a
be true.
hypochondriac, and what better
He's
for a
He's a
hypochondriac?
total hypochondriac. That goes without saying. I just I really think that he's like physically addicted to that sort of affirmation.
He's a civilian chondriac, Dennis. He's afraid of normies. He wants to be around. If the rule is, if Dr. Drew gives you Mad magazines, it's germs. If Robert Downey Jr.
He's
gives
allergic
you,
to poor people, basically.
he's allergic to poor people, right? Plebeians.
I want to
His
feel
therapy.
son.
Okay, all right. Next,
moratorium.
This week.
See, I don't have fancy echo here or anything like
Yes,
that.
his therapist is Stuart Smalley. Thank you.
How'd you know?
All right, let's
I mean,
continue.
I guarantee you, it's not far from the truth.
All I know is that he has several mansions and a few Ferraris.
Good Monique called.
Yeah.
Mr.
Oh my
Roboto.
God, that's
Therapy
cool.
was the douche
Elmer
of the
J.
show.
Fudd. I own a mansion and a yacht.
Exactly.
It's wholly that.
Oh yeah, that was a good call, John.
Yeah, Moose Boosh.
yeah.
I haven't heard that in a while. Good call, Rooster Roboto.
Good job.
Now Andy's got a book out, so this is
Oh,
is
dear God,
a
that looks-
bad,
Yeah,
bad
Howard's
cover.
there's a Howard section. Did he bring it? Okay, he did bring
Yes,
it up.
oh my God, that looks really
Oh yeah. It looks dumb.
That's Teen Titans Go artwork. on
that is
character.
really that's
Isn't
actually
that
very frightening.
just-
Everything
just
about that is super
boring?
frightening.
And this book is diary entries, so it's from the last year. Now, Howard goes just the wrong way with what in this is what Howard thinks the book's going to look like.
Looks like it's a diary, but is that what literally is going on? Do you every day go home and you have a nice journal, a leather journal, and you write in it?
I write in my computer, and then I write notes on my phone sometimes during the day if something happens that I want to remember.
You'll write down the most mundane thing. Today, I fed my son eggs, or whatever.
I mean, I would like it to attempt for there to be a point, but yes,
That's a nice way of saying no. My book. It's not going to have any of that in it. And no, I don't write that in my diary. Who's going to write in the diary that I had eggs that day? You're going to write
Howard.
If you even have a journal diary, isn't he? So often he thought it was. He imagines Andy sitting down to a leather book, in a study with dark a fireplace burning, and he writes with a feather,
feathered pen.
Montblanc, Montblanc
Isn't
pen,
this-
feather pen.
See, and when he says all of that, Andy's like, no, I write it in my phone on a computer like normal people.
yes.
Like everybody else. Howard's living in, the 1930s, 40s.
Is there anything worse than transcripted interviews that you've had on YouTube for 20 years? That's
Dearest
a book.
Diary.
That's a book.
Today
worse than
I was in Miami, and Howard took my guest.
Larry King or Andy Cohen.
I can't do it. I hate his voice so much I can't do it.
Nice. Now, Cher called Andy, and this is
serious?
the tiny minds here. This is why celebrity culture in America is. This is
in your journals. When I'm reading it, you carry on about Cher. Who ever thought? And as you write, like, oh my God, Cher just called me looking for Anderson Cooper. At first I thought, well, what the fuck is this book? I mean, why is that interesting to me? But yet it is interesting to me because I'm relating to you. Cher is trying to track down Anderson Cooper, and she thinks to call you.
Right.
It's sort of mind-blowing, right?
It is mind-blowing. I think the book is it's a snapshot of being a single dad, but it's also a snapshot of pop culture in the year 2022. And
Wait. Pop culture in the year 2022 involves Cher.
Cher.
Wow.
When's the last time anyone's here seen Cher in any way, shape, or form, or heard from her in an interview? Or, she gets this weird worship where the more she stays away, the more worship she is by the Cohens and the Kathy Griffins of the world. She's like a Bravo demigod.
It's another one of these narcissistic celebrities that is painting himself as this victim because he's a single parent of children he's adopted. That he's also has help, like lots of help, and he's very wealthy. And like literally, dude, you're not a single parent, dude. You're not. Just stop. I mean, seriously.
the truth be told, the nanny should be writing these books.
Exactly, not him.
Not these rich douchebags.
Oh Jesus! I mean, he literally. I remember like early on, he was on Stern like a couple years ago, and they were talking about the kid and like the son he got, and honestly, it almost sounded like he got a new puppy.
Well, every celebrity does that, Dennis. They act like they're the only parents on the face of the earth.
No. But it was more like he got a puppy than he got a kid. It was actually kind of disturbing, and I'm like, what the hell am I listening to?
Yeah, but then
like
just
12
really years
weird.
go by, and then the kid starts posting on Twitter what a douchebag their parents were. Like Rosie O'Donnell's kids, they hate her. They know what a pretentious blowhard she is. But when they were babies or whatever, I'm the perfect mother, And then once they can talk, they're like, you know what? You suck.
Oh, Jesus, though. He's just, there's so much wrong with him, and his voice is like grating. I mean, I'd rather listen to Beefus talk than him. I mean, honest to God. That's how bad his voice is.
Oh, no,
yeah,
man.
his voice really, I mean, it really.
How about not listening to either? How's that?
Yo, that makes my day happy. That'll be tomorrow.
They continue though. Check this.
There's so much anger in
out.
this show.
In the year 2022, and all the names are names that are coming in and out of my show or my life or the news. Yes, when Cher texts me, I am blown away, and that's going in the book.
Here is the entry from your journal. Cher called Anderson during a commercial break tonight to tell him he was doing a great job. Life is a ride. Now, that says a lot to me about Cher. I mean, that she would call Anderson Cooper up during his broadcast to say how great he's doing. That, you know what? People don't do that enough.
I know.
Now, they don't do it for you, Howard.
What the?
I've come into the deepening when they're on, and I've said, "Great show." This, when I'm listening, I've got this is an awesome show today. This is what people do. You know, you just support. You help
It's not a big
support
deal.
people,
Right?
Yeah, but
wait,
no
wait.
one does that for Howard. That's the problem here.
But no, even bigger. Why the hell is that why is that a page in a book?
Oh yeah. The
I mean,
content.
let's really.
Is that an advertisement for the book? Yeah.
Why is that a page in the book? I mean, that is literally like, it's like I woke up this morning and I had toast with ricotta. Wow, and my daughter said it looked great.
Why does this guy who's so famous need to name drop?
I mean, that's how
That's what
bland
they
it
are.
is.
They're all narcissists, dude.
Let me ask everyone, just purely from a pop music standpoint, what on earth did Cher do to have this demigod status? As far as I know, her hits the Mermaid soundtrack.
No,
found someone, and then Sonny and Cher. Why is she getting this level of worship?
No, I think it's in the gay.
I don't know.
I think it kind of has that Judy. It's kind of that Judy Garland kind of thing.
Yeah, it kind of is. That's
the
pretty
gay
fair.
mafia
Yeah,
that
I think that's
empowers
where
us,
we're
Dennis?
kind of going with this.
They did a Streisand with her, the gay mafia.
Yeah, exactly.
embellishes
It's
to
that
the-
same thing because I mean she is as irrelevant can be to music at this point. I mean she's aged out.
Dennis's mom.
She had a hit, like a
Moonstruck.
pseudo comeback in the late '90s. That's
Yeah,
it.
and we reference her. It's all shit
30
from the late
years,
80s.
20
and
years
advanced.
ago.
I know.
It's a long time
You have to update your artistic reference to her at some point. You don't get this decade worship. I don't understand what she did. It's bizarre. It's always baffled me why she gets this level of
John.
worship.
But do you believe in love after love?
These are such basic bitch songs. What
and it's
is
all
that?
like auto-tuned. If you listen to her songs back
Yeah,
when
she can't even sing.
everything was
Yeah, her voice was done by the '90s. Done by the '90s. So I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
know. I mean,
correct.
Jesus, this doesn't. This is so weird.
What are we doing with our lives? Come on.
Let's move on.
Let's have a
Let's
real
move on.
conversation.
More than
What
Cher.
are we doing with our lives?
When we're doing more than Cher does.
Last two clips from Andy. So Andy's TV show is an afterthought. It's not the most important thing in his life, and guess who loves that?
If anything, Watch What Happens Live, your TV show, is almost like an afterthought. It's not a lot of notes or stuff in your journal about work, about the actual show and what goes on.
Right.
And I think I admire that too. Like, that isn't the most important thing in your life.
What? What did that sentence mean?
You're so deep.
What did that sentence really mean? There was this word salad. There was nothing. There was no point to that. There was no point to that sentence. None.
Howard, I really think you have me figured out. You really get me.
But
that's what he wants to get. That's what he thinks Andy's going to say to him.
Yeah, but I mean, there was no point to that statement. It wasn't a question. It was a
Because he
statement.
doesn't know where to go with this interview, Dennis. He's got nothing. He has Andy Cohen on every other month. What else can you wring from this homosexual
Nothing.
bar rag
There's-
at this point? This
there's
Cherry
nothing.
Grove bar rag. Every other month he's on the show. There's nothing more you could say to him. And well, especially coming from this show, he doesn't know what to ask him. We could probably get more out of him.
No, but I mean that was literally that's the world's greatest self-proclaimed greatest interviewer, and that was literally the stupidest statement I've ever heard uttered to someone. It's like the show isn't the most important thing in your life. Probably not.
Another moratorium, Andy Cohen. How about that?
Oh,
Another
yes.
one. How about we
Do it,
never again?
Do it.
Every
We
other
barely
month.
talk about him.
Let's
I mean,
X him off.
seriously.
This is the last
He was
one.
just on Miami, right?
This is the great way to end it because you guys are going to latch onto this straight away. I don't even need to intro it.
Yeah, you say in the book you're not sure what to put in about celebrities and stuff because you can hear Howard Stern interviewing you and saying, wow, you really you went too far and you put too many personal things about your celebrity
There
friends
was,
in there.
after my second book, I was on this show, and you were saying to me, are you sure people aren't pissed that they're in this book? Did you get their permission and all this stuff? And I have to say, that lived a little bit rent-free in my head. And then when I was starting to write this book, and I talked to a couple close friends of mine, I was like, are you sure that I rode the line well in my last couple books?
So you get where he's coming. Howard's saying, "I'm not allowed to talk about my celebrity friends,
Right.
so you
Yeah.
have to be careful too." Or
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld won't invite you to the party. Yeah.
Who are these people?
And Andy listened to that. Like, he's saying that hung around rent free in my brain.
Yeah, we got a full evidence of that was when he has to ask whatchamacallit, Jessica Sklar Seinfeld permission to talk about Seinfeld's birthday on the air. You know, a life experience. It wasn't that big a deal. And when he talked about it, it really wasn't. He talked about a conversation he had with Bill Maher and a conversation he had with Louis C.K. It really wasn't that. And he had to ask Jessica Seinfeld's,
For
the guy
permission.
who's, permission to talk about it on the air. Just like Steve Martin's.
Well, that's because of
New Year's
the Aniston trip.
The
Literally,
edict.
this all goes back to the Aniston trip.
Yeah, I
we
love
played,
it.
Beth told Andy Cohen that, in fact, on his own show. We played that on here several times.
We kind of have a gag
We're not
order.
allowed to talk about it.
We're not allowed to
We
talk
can't talk
about
about that.
We can't talk about that.
Well, here's a. Andy Cohen is the executive producer of all the Real Housewives reality
he's a
shows.
huge
Do you think
mogul.
he's ever approached Beth to be on that?
Oh
Or do you
yeah,
think-
God,
absolutely.
she wanted to get on without question. If anybody saw this, it was Sarah that showed me this. She is on the runway with, God damn it, that Bethany Frankel in the first season of Housewives trying to get on the show, and she's off in the background, and Howard
There's like
shot it
80
down.
of those
You know, she-
now. You think she
Yes.
could easily be on one of them?
Beefus would slaughter every animal in that house to be on
Just
that.
put
I
those
mean, it was
cats out
not even a
the
thought.
window. From
That rabbit would be in the pot.
She'd just be out.
I can imagine it in my head, the imagery
raining
with
cats.
her blood all over her. Yeah.
Is there any
I'm gonna be
more perfect?
famous.
But she
Famous!
belongs. But you've seen it, she belongs on that show.
But would that be
She
Howard's worst
qualifies
nightmare?
incessantly for that show.
Yeah.
Can you
It's
imagine
Howard's biggest nightmare. Yeah.
Can you imagine having her ignorance on display
Oh my God!
for
It would
16
make-
weeks?
But that's the show. That's
I
the
would-
show. She's exactly like
Seriously,
everybody else on
whatever
the show.
app that was on, I would pay to see.
Oh my God! I would watch it.
record
I would
every
watch it
single
like
episode.
religiously.
It would be amazing. Do it, Beth.
Please.
I think she negotiated with Howard every other month to try to get on that show, and he shot it down
But the
every
thing
time.
is,
Eventually,
he
just
just Andy
gave up.
Cohen. He is the show. All the shows. All you have to do is say,
Beef-
put her on, and they have to
would
put her
make
on.
Beef would make Jessica Simpson look like Albert
Rhodes
Einstein.
Scholar. Like a freaking Rhodes Scholar.
Honest to God.
She would look like Will Hunting next to freaking.
Ooh, Will Hunting, nice. That's pretty.
I mean,
that's a good. I haven't heard that before.
I mean, Beefus would make Paris Hilton look like I don't know.
Russell Crowe and Beautiful Mind.
Exactly. I mean, honest to
Exactly.
God.
Exactly. Yeah, it would be like exactly.
Make no mistake, I think probably every other month she asked Howard to go on that show, and he
Time
shot
me
it.
on the
There's
show.
no,
I want to be
no
on the
doubt about
show.
it.
I want to be on the show. Come on. It's only a
All
little.
right.
It's only
But the
showing a
thing is,
little of the
he can make it
house.
happen right there. Why didn't he put him on the spot? Just
Stephen Hawking.
put her on.
Put it on. Yeah.
I want to be on the show. I can show my pink. I can show my pink bedroom. I can see your little flappy.
The worst thing is Howard thinks these shows are beneath him. They're not. They're far more popular than you are. Every broad on that show has more followers.
100%.
They're
Go
far
on any
more
of their like
Yes.
Instagrams and compare them to Beth. It's
He
not
thinks
even
the
close.
show's beneath him, and they're not. They're more popular than you are. Easily, it's not even close.
Oh,
They're
a
spin-offs. are more
zillion
popular.
percent.
Let's go to the calendar. June. Oh, yeah. American Thigh. USA Skin. Torn jeans. Needs mending. Oh,
Tonight the music seems so loud. Dennis wishes he could lose this crowd.
Exactly. Thank you.
here we
All right,
are.
so-
we didn't really need to do
On
this.
that note-
Is this the end? He's back next week, and then
Next
that's it.
week-
Is that right?
Yeah, next
might
week.
be it, man.
Who's he have on next week? He has.
Did he announce a guest, Dennis?
He announced a guest during a commercial. Oh, it's another repeat guest, and I went blank. Chat, help me here.
Every guest has been a serious, incestuous jerk off, right? In the last 10 guests you had, it's all a crossover. Somebody on Sirius. When is it? Has there been anything that's ambitious?
No. But these are all. Oh,
Kelly
God.
Clarkson says Irie.
Oh, it's Kelly Clarkson. That's who it is. It's Kelly Clarkson next week.
She's been on a few times.
What a letdown! That's
Does she have her own channel
terrible.
in Sirius?
I probably. I can't understand. I mean, Kelly Clarkson is not relevant at all. Honest to Christ,
Let's
no.
assume, she has her own channel in Sirius. She's gonna get her own summer
Does she have
channel
her own
in
show or
Sirius.
some crap like that?
She has a talk show. I think she still have a talk show on
actually doing
daytime.
pretty well, from what I understand.
Drew Barrymore's
I'd
show
never
does
watch
okay.
it.
Is Drew Barrymore's show
Is she
still
big
on?
with housefraus?
I have
mean,
no
I guess
idea.
she's big with housefraus. I mean, I don't. I mean,
She's no worse than any of the other dumb shows that are on in the afternoon.
I
Is one
understand
better
that,
from
but-
another one?
But it's like, but there's no discernible. She won a karaoke contest.
That's a good point, chat. Coach and Aaron Taylor. Let's see him fat shamer on the show. Let's see if he does it. Let's look for the fat shame. Will it happen? I say no. I say no effing way.
So-
Not to anyone's face.
We're at today's show was number 52. Today's show was number 52. So now we're getting into the meat of the order here, because there's not much left.
Get into Ben Ogilvy and Gorman Thomas, Dennis.
Yes. Ben Ogilvy.
There isn't
nice
much.
callback.
There isn't much July. Oh, look at that!
There's gonna be nothing. So the wedding is going to be the 23rd. So you know that he is not going to come back after that wedding. There's no way he comes back on the air for the
Absolutely not.
For the 26th, 27th, and 28th. No, because he wants that wedding to be far in the distance when he goes back on the air. So it
In
doesn't
his
talk about
feeble mind, he considers the wedding work as well. Like this is some
Absolutely.
Oh, good call, Johnny.
Yeah,
Classic.
he gets the summer off the wedding. That's how he thinks. That's how Plughead thinks. This is work. This wedding.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense for him to everything about it is lining up that he's just gonna be gone.
Let's hope so. Let's go for good.
Because it's gonna be, if he does come back that week, it's just gonna be so weird because Blobbin already let out a bag when the wedding is, so everybody knows the wedding is that day. So now it's going to be like, it has to be a subject you kind of have to talk about, being that your daughter got married. So then, is that going to be the fodder? And I don't know if he really wants to talk about it.
Well, somebody on our site did. Was it Sternwig? Says Ashley Jade is. I went on the registry, I guess, and it says it's confirmed June 24th.
You went on the registry.
Oh, it's getting married on
creepy.
Sunday. It's getting married on a
That's
Sunday.
fantastic.
She's getting married. Oh, that's right. They're Jewish. They wouldn't get married on a Saturday.
It says there's a
Well,
blooming.
here's the
Okay,
thing.
Lisa
Everything
C,
was already taken. Everything on the registry was already taken.
Lisa C37 says there's a Bloomingdale's registry that's very private for an Ashley Jade. Is there any other one?
No.
And Adam with a wedding says June 24th, 2023.
That's right because they're Jewish. They're not going to have it on a Saturday. They'll have it on Sunday.
Right.
And he definitely you think he's going to go to work after he has to be up to 11 o'clock at night on that Sunday? The next day he's going to go Monday. He's going to go to work.
Not a shot in hell.
Not a shot in hell. It's already now. It's definitely baked into the cake because now he's saying the wedding's probably it's 7:30 at night. There's no way because he's with all the festivities ends at 11:30 and he
Baked
can't
into the
leave
rice
early.
cake, Dennis.
What?
Yeah, he can.
Baked into the rice cake.
He'll tap out. There's no way he's
Leave
gonna
his
make it.
daughter's wedding early?
Absolutely, dude.
Oh my God!
He probably has a back
I mean,
entrance.
he abandoned them. What's leaving an hour
right,
early?
right.
gonna make a
Francis
difference?
Island, right.
Jesus.
He literally abandoned them.
He has an exit strategy already awaiting him with a back entrance and everything.
Oh my
Also-
God, that
Do
would
you-
be
Do
insane.
you think it's going to be a sprained hoof again?
Oh no!
He
Beefus
might get a sprained hoof again, guys.
No.
There's a
Beefus wants to
chance.
be there because it thinks it's the pretty mare, and it's
But
gonna
just-
float all
You know,
its.
it'd be awesome if Howard pushed Beth from the top of the stairs down. Oh, we gotta go.
Chevy Chase is invited, Jeremy spoke. Yes, he's going to do the speech.
Hey, someone said pre-recorded episode. You never know.
No, Maybe.
You know what? You never know. We'll know when we know.
Yeah, no.
Let's know.
Robin said it was.
Let's send John Lieberman there with a tape recorder to get footage, just like they did with
Absolutely,
Richard's wedding. Right?
yeah.
Let's do it, right? It's only
Everything
fair.
else was part of the show.
Everybody else is good for the show. Isn't that why we joined up? Serious? It's all on. Full transparency. Let's get it. Let's get Steve.
Oh, the
John
24th
Lieberman.
is 24th is Saturday.
Okay. Yeah.
There's no way. I'm sorry. There's no way it's a Friday night wedding. I'm sorry. They're
love
dropping
Friday night
real.
weddings.
They're dropping real coin. This is a Saturday. This is a Saturday wedding. Yeah, this real coin. They're not real places. Real coin weddings don't happen Friday night. That's just not the way it's happening. That just doesn't happen.
Cleaning out the computer.
It's time for Arm.
All right, we have a few clips.
The Arm.
Nice day to start again.
Man, look at him.
10 to
I'll
11.
leave it up to you guys. Well, you can't do both because there's too many. What would you rather hear, the Pat Cooper spillover or Ashley and Beth at the Sex
Ashley and
and the
Beth.
City premiere?
Ashley and Beth.
Actually, yeah. Let's keep
and
it
Beth.
relevant.
Ashley and Beth.
Pat Cooper's always relevant in my eyes.
Well, you can have a whole
No,
summer special on him.
He's timeless. We can put him on.
I know.
We could have a whole
So this
summer
is
special.
this is Beth trying to appeal to Ashley because the other two sisters hate Beth, and I have full evidence of this. I'm completely sure of that in this. And they go to Howard has to get tickets to the Sex and the City 2 premiere on a weeknight, and it's all about Beth. And Bon, do you have them in order or? Because I sent them to you in order, but they put them out of order when you get it in the email.
I've got them in order, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I did a bit of editing. Ashley,
So
Whatever
excited.
You did.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, I think that's good. Hold on. But it was pretty fucking loud.
So excited about it. I can't tell you how excited she is. As soon as I texted her, I said, hey, I got a ticket for the premiere. Oh, my God, this is the greatest thing. Like, I was the hero dad. And Beth has a special outfit. And it's going to be fun. You know, we're all together. And my daughter and Beth have a good relationship. And,
Okay, stop right
they
there.
like each other.
You don't have to tell us your daughter and Beth have a good relationship if that means
They have-
both Emily and
exactly.
Deborah hate her guts. There's not a doubt in my mind. I'm not overshooting it. I'm not
No.
fishing. You don't have to remind us that Ashley and Beth have a great relationship if the other two don't hate her guts. We know Emily hates her guts.
Yeah, absolutely, 112% there.
Hey, Puzzles is here.
Yay! Yeah, Puzzle. Yeah, she woke up.
Cut, cat mustache. Cat mustache.
I did
cat
it twice.
mustache.
Now I can't
You
get
did
to
it?
her tail.
Oh, sorry,
Hi.
I was on YouPorn. Sorry.
Oh, hi. I know. Hi. Oh, that's rough.
Okay, so then it goes
Dennis,
to...
have you given the cat booze?
No, I do not give my animals booze.
I
That's
hope
just not
not.
right. That's not right.
No, no way
not
he
right.
could do that. His wife's a vet. He
Johnny,
couldn't do
that's
that.
This is not right. You don't do that.
Isn't catnip booze? Isn't catnip
No,
like
catnip is
MDMA?
an herb. It's an
Oh,
herb.
I thought it was like cat's heroin or MDMA or something.
No.
Like
Oh dear God, no.
that. Did it make him crazy?
It's
Cat
some
Coke?
some makes them happy. Some makes them
Catterall?
crazy. Some makes them content. It depends. And what are you doing? What are you doing? That was a lot of effort. Okay, continue.
That's like your cat's like Beth at Ashley's wedding. Dennis jumping in front of the camera. in front of-
Absolutely.
It's gonna
I
be
can
a whole
imagine
wedding.
that.
Beth jumping
Could
in
you
front of
imagine
her
that? Like
on the
Beth
dance
is going to be like,
It's like Jason Kaplan and Lisa G at that staff photo when he jumped in front of Lisa on purpose.
So I love
Crazy.
that. I love
bride
that
and groom
picture.
picture, and there's Beth.
Okay, let's continue.
Premiere is at Radio City Music.
Hold on.
Okay,
Here
holding.
we go.
Premiere is at Radio City Music Hall. You could not even, we were in a limo and we're trying to get there. You could not even get near the place.
And then that's that clip, and then there's...
Oh, so you chopped up on your own?
Yeah. There was all this stuff in them that was like, oh, I see what you're getting at. And then I was like, oh, there's all this bits where he's just umming and ahhing. And hold on. He's
And I just didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to see Matthew Broderick because
Oh yeah.
years
So
ago I
let me
called
explain
it.
this. Let me explain this.
Gotcha.
Let me
Yep.
explain this. Okay. Now everybody's aware. We talked about this on the deafening. I believe you were on this. Jennifer Grey dated Matthew Broderick. They went on a vacation in the late '80s. Matthew Broderick killed 2 people in Ireland in a drunk driving accident in 1988. So Howard, I never heard this, and it was like Artie that told me about this. Howard prank called Matthew Broderick's answering machine and left this crazy message mocking him about killing these 2 people in Ireland. Jennifer Grey was in the passenger seat. And so cut to this. Howard has to go to the Sex and the City 2 premiere. Matthew Broderick's at the premiere. And obviously there's Gabourey Sidibe's there. Amanda Pete's here, as we'll find out later, which is great. And so
I just didn't want to deal with it.
Sorry, John. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So during this, listen closely. Fred plays a driving crashing sound at the end of this when he brings up Matthew Broderick.
Oh shit! I think I edited that out now.
Oh, you idiots! Oh, you moron!
Oh
Now
my
I see
God!
what- it might be in there.
My art.
The whole punchline.
Wait,
The
wait,
punchline.
I'll get it. I thought it was an aeroplane crashing.
It
and
was
I
Fred's
thought,
playing
why
a
would
crashing
there be
sound. Don't worry about it.
I'm getting the original. Just remain calm.
He's in the future. He can get it. That's
that
right.
makes sense. Wow, and Fred did that. The
Fred
smart
played a
ass.
crashing
That's
sound.
pretty cool that Fred would do that. He'd never do that now.
That's when he actually was working.
Oh my God!
Unlike today.
I'm getting it. Don't worry, I'm getting it again.
If you don't, I mean, they get the hint. They know. I'm sure they could imagine
The
what it's.
dingo ate your tape.
Bastards. Bastards. Here we go. So this is the I deeply apologize. I mean, yes.
I remember this too. I remember.
And
that.
I just
Yeah,
didn't want to
crash.
deal with it. I didn't want to see Matthew Broderick because years ago I called their apartment when he.
You've never run into him? I thought you had run into him before.
I've seen him places. He's been very nice not to say anything to me. I don't say anything to him. I can tell he doesn't like me, and you know,
So you
I
just
get
don't
it.
speak.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, that was kind of obnoxious of me, but it was good radio.
Can't admit what got you here.
Yep, that's it. That's who I am. That's my
That's how
path.
you got the ticket.
But it's better I sit in my apartment. You know what I mean?
Here it comes.
So,
Full on.
yeah, so he was there.
Oh my God.
That is fun. That's actually really funny.
That's outstanding.
Okay,
Let's just hear
notice
that.
how he
Let's
wants
hear
to
that
be.
again.
You know what I mean?
Here it comes.
I hate that one.
Oh, great, man.
Now, this is a crazy time. He's really trying to get into the celebrity stead, and Andy Cohen has introduced him to Sarah Jessica Parker. Now, notice he didn't say what the problem he had with him was during that whole thing, but Fred knew exactly what it was, and Fred finally did his job and played a sound effect. And Robin gave her that Schadenfreude laugh. She knew what he was talking about, but he never actually said what it was. So for everybody that doesn't know, Matthew Broderick killed 2 people in the late 80s in Ireland. And Jennifer Grey was in the passenger seat, and he got off. I don't know why he got off. There was some weird caveat in Ireland that got him off, but he is no better than he was the last person.
His blood alcohol was too low. I mean,
It was a drug.
Kennedy, maybe. That's a good example.
He killed
He's no
someone
better
from
than him.
Northern Ireland.
Yes.
They
were British sympathizers.
Or Alec Baldwin and the set of Rust.
They were British.
were
They were British
limeys from
sympathizers.
England.
That's why.
There you go.
American
note-
Idol, John?
Yeah, this is a very prophetic clip. So you guys heard the American Idol bullshit today. This is Howard saying that all these reality shows are beneath him, and Simon Cowell is the only guy that can do this job. And then he pisses on Ellen in this. It's all in
Remember
here.
this
All
rant.
bizarre.
This rant
is
was
13
good.
years ago.
Cologne.
Same
And
show.
one
too, by
dumb
the way.
question after another. Asking me, I don't even remember what they were asking me. I wish you were there. You could remember what they were asking me. I have no clue. One dumb question after another, you know, about Sex and the City, about this, about that, American Idol again. I said, listen, honestly, I don't want to be, I mean, if they paid me a fortune, of course I'd be a judge on American Idol. I said, but don't you think it's kind of beneath me to be on American Idol? Think about it. I mean, I have a career where I communicate with millions of people every day, and I give my opinions on things, and I do comedy. To go on American Idol and sit there and tell somebody whether they're a good singer or not.
To judge people who will never reach the heights of your career.
All right. I mean, what's the, what,
wow.
I mean, what is that? I mean, it's
Listen to
it would be
this.
a dumb career move when I think about it. When I really analyze it.
Listen to this.
And I can only do a horrible thing to my career because Simon Cowell's perfect at it, and it can only be worse.
Yeah, but it is a step down.
Yeah. They said, well, if not you, who will it be? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't think there's anybody that good. I said, they put Ellen DeGeneres on there. She's horrible. I said, she don't offer anything on that show. And the other two judges are stinky. I said, really, I'm probably the only one who could save the franchise. But who cares? I don't even care.
Oh. So, John, you need to tweet that to Kelly Clarkson.
Yes.
Because, that made her entire career. So, obviously, it's just
smoking
terrible and you
gun.
can never be successful.
That is a smoking gun,
So much
John.
in there. The Ellen DeGeneres relationship.
Oh, the
is so much.
DeGeneres
I
thing,
couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'm like, I didn't even want to get it because it really wasn't relevant to Beth and Ashley. And I'm like, but it was in the middle of him saying that he somehow got, because his publicist, Dan Flores, had spread that rumor that he was getting. Remember that stupid, they spread the fucking American Idol thing? It was just like this.
Wow, Amanda Peet.
Amanda Peet. So does everybody know Dennis? Don't make me explain this again. Do you want to explain the Amanda Peet history?
Okay, so Amanda Peet and...
I'll do it if you don't want to do it, but I'm sick of myself right now.
Really? Oh, Jesus. Okay.
I'll do it.
Fine.
So,
you just want to do it anyway. Just do
I
it.
don't want to do it.
Didn't she take Beth Mann or something like that?
Yes.
What
Brian Von
was
Holt.
that? I mean...
Brian Von Holt.
And then the guy went out and produced Game of Thrones.
Beth was dating Brian Van Holt, and Amanda Peet was
On the
better
set of
looking
Whipped.
and more successful, and he ended up dating her. And didn't she marry him?
Yeah.
Think they might have
she has
married and
kids with them.
divorced.
She has all kids
She's married
with
to
them.
the producer of Game of Thrones now.
Oh,
that
she
guy.
is?
Well, the first Game of the one that clearly didn't have an idea how to land the plane after the end of once they ran out of the script of the book.
Well, yeah, once they ran out of the source material, it kind of died, didn't it?
So it was the set of Whipped where Beth had a bit part scene where she played a floozy at the bar, and she dated Brian Von Holt, and Amanda Peet stole Brian Von Holt from Beth. Well, I mean, that's the way she took it. And she can't handle it. And she's been bitching to Howard about it for years and years and years. And Howard tried to white knight for her on the air. And he makes random shots at Amanda Peet. And nobody knows why. And he won't say why, but this is why. And so Amanda Peet just happens to be at the Sex and the City premiere. And she's sitting in front of Beth. And you could hear they all know what it is, but he won't say why.
So I blew by a whole bunch of people. Beth said I just missed Amanda Peet was sitting in front of us.
Oh.
Yeah, that would have been fireworks.
Why?
I don't know if any of these people would confront me, but it's possible. And I don't want them confronting me in front of my daughter. I kind of prepared her. I said, there might be some people who do not like Dad. She goes, why? I said, because they make fun of them. Why do you do that?
Yeah, you're mean.
You're mean. She says it. I go, you're right. I am. I am mean. What can I tell you? It's what I do for a living. I speak my mind. It's very hard to explain it to her because, this is a good vibe over there at that Sex and the City. And, this is a good vibe over there. I don't know who likes me and who doesn't. And everyone's like, Howard.
Wow.
What the hell did we just listen to?
An incoherent moron trying to dance around why Beefus and Amanda Peet don't like each other.
And he's white, and somehow Robin knows, and they freaked out, and it's the two of them in the same orbit is fantastic, and you could hear Beth bitching him about Amanda Peet as soon as she saw, the seating placement and everything.
Why is she so close to us? Why I don't understand this.
He went on Letterman bashing Amanda Peet. Remember that? He actually went on Letterman and spent an entire segment bashing Amanda Peet, and Letterman didn't know why.
I don't understand it. She doesn't save any kittens.
Bon, what else do you have?
The ticket. Why didn't Beth give up the ticket?
Okay, so a caller calls in and says,
good.
well, see, the whole point of this was Ashley needed to go to this. So he said, well, Howard initially could only get 2 tickets and he had to beg them for 3. So the caller calls in and said, what would happen if you only had 2? What does Beth need to be there for? Why wouldn't Beth just give her ticket up? And Howard can't answer the question. Because she obviously needs to be.
As someone with divorced parents, I wanted to ask you, when you announced you only got a hold of 2 tickets to the premiere, and you were pissed that you didn't get 3, and said if you didn't get a third, you weren't going,
sure,
and Ashley would be heartbroken.
No, I didn't say
Beth
Ashley
ever
would...
offered to back out?
Well, no, I wouldn't do that. Listen, my wife is important. I want her to go. And I had to get 3 tickets, and that's what I did. It would have been weird. And not only that, I couldn't have left my daughter there alone if I had to leave early. No, that wouldn't have been an option. I don't leave my wife at home. There's some things I take my daughters to on my own, and I do a lot of things with my daughters on my own,
No,
quite
you don't.
frankly. but
Why does Beth
this
need
was
to be
something
there?
that Beth was excited to go to too, and just wasn't an option. Some things, that's how it works.
All right, fair enough.
All right, later.
That was a
Wow.
non-answer.
Of course.
He's not happy.
He's got
You
nothing.
can tell. He's not happy about having to
Explain
respond to that. Yeah. Let's
My wife
see.
is a fame whore, and she can't stay away from these open. Just say, and that's
Absolutely.
what you saw.
That's
That's all I need.
he should
That's
say-
what everybody
Yeah,
knows.
it is.
My
Yes.
wife is
The
a fame whore.
simple
Can't-
explanation would have been, "That's the only reason she's married to me."
Exactly.
Or the better answer is what Xavier said. That's the only reason she's married to me. Is this?
Yeah. For that crap.
This is good. Deborah avoids Beth at Ashley's graduation.
Yeah.
Are we
So
ready?
Ashley has a graduation from high school, and Robin knows the daughters hate Beth, but she's implying it. She's innuendoing it here, and she says, "What about all the other sisters?" And then Howard has to make up this crazy lie how Deborah can't get there from San Francisco, and the flight had to get returned back to San Francisco, and he doesn't know why. And this is just, first time I heard it was today.
If she started out the day before, 24 hours later, she still could not get to New York.
Are you kidding?
No.
Was she caught up? I know one of the airlines had some kind of computer glitch.
There was something going on where they had to return a flight, and she literally had to be put up at a hotel.
Oh.
By the time she got to New York, she missed the entire graduation.
Oh.
24 hours to get to New York from San Francisco. But Deborah couldn't get there.
Yeah.
And she was all bummed out because she planned, made a whole dinner. My parents.
So she didn't even make the dinner?
She didn't make the dinner, no.
Wow.
She
Did you
did it at
guys-
8 o'clock last night.
No, most
Come on.
people fly out the day
Her husband
before
was there,
an
my
event.
father-
At least. At least
Yeah,
the
right.
day before.
Most people like
They-
if
but
I
wait,
had something to do.
Not in this family.
What is
Wednesday in
Deborah-
New York, I would fly
wait.
out on Tuesday.
What is
Just in
Deborah?
case.
What is Deborah leaving? I mean, what job? What
No,
job
just-
is
Well,
Deborah
it's a
really
6-hour
leaving?
flight
Not
from the
nothing
West
at that point. She was
Nothing.
backpacking in Europe.
It's a
Exactly.
5-6-hour
Deborah
flight,
had
so you're
no
gonna-
job.
You're gonna leave the day before.
Why can't billionaire charter a private jet if it's so important for the grad? I mean, it would be
Absolutely.
nothing to him, right? I mean, it's just nothing to him.
No. But even
Nothing?
so, she wouldn't come the day before. She would come, her sister. She would come a week before.
I know.
She had nothing
Yeah,
else
absolutely.
going on.
Nothing would keep her away except
Nothing else going on. This is utter and absolute nonsense. I mean, honestly.
Jamie,
and it was
why does
in the chat that somebody asked that, why does Emily and Deborah
That's where I was
hate-
going.
Yeah, go right ahead.
No, go ahead, Dennis. You
All right.
started. Go.
Well, my thing on it is that she's the shiksa that their mother always said that he would end up with. The bimba, the blonde bimba that
Your greatest fears realized.
Yep, and
He broke up their family.
yeah, and honestly, they know that Beefus is partially part of the reason that it happened, because the timeline doesn't make any sense. The timeline is much
You
earlier.
can frame it, Dennis, any way you want. She's a homewrecker and destroyed their
Absolutely.
family life. It's
Well,
the
yeah,
bottom
and a
line.
gold digger who
And a
is a
gold
home wrecker. Well, that's the way it goes. And the older two were old enough to see it, and Ashley was just young enough not to really notice it.
They love their mom and they hate Robin too, right, Jeremy Harrelson? Emily and Robin hate each other. And I know this too because every time sort of the serious years, they would plan a birthday party. Robin would plan the birthday party and not invite Emily because she didn't want her around Beth. And that's why Emily hates Beth. They would have like these huge birthday parties in Manhattan. And
Wow.
Robin would take the liberty of I have footage of it.
daughter.
And not invite the kids because
Some petty
Not about
crap,
the
man.
daughter.
Petty.
Jesus.
How about the scarf, John?
Oh,
The
okay.
The gaze. Do you want
Yeah,
that?
I mean, this is just simply just him acting. This is just screaming to come out of the closet and how he approaches this section. It's not a big deal. It's just we've heard stuff like this before. Play it if
The
you
whole
want.
thing was very gay because, I'm talking about how I love Sex in the City. I don't care. So what are people going to do? Call me gay? I'm there with my hot chick, and I know I bang her on a regular basis. I don't have any feelings for men, and I
Where
don't...
gay man sleeps with women.
Yeah, I don't care. Call me what you want. I'm not uptight about that gay stuff.
Robin's great there.
Yeah.
Gay man who
Yeah,
sleeps
sure,
with
buddy.
women.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, you say yourself you're so masculine. Yeah.
It is late It's late May too, and he's wearing a goddamn scarf.
Oh, he wears scarves in the summer.
Yeah, I know. Let's just leave it.
It's
This
just
was.
freaking, he'll wear a scarf to the wedding.
That's a good call. That's a really good call.
You
Well,
wore a scarf to that wedding.
Gary Puppet, please infiltrate somebody's Facebook. I don't care if it's Ashley's husband's third cousin. You befriend
Gary,
him, and
if
please
you are
get the pictures for him.
listening,
He'll get him. If anybody can, it's Gary Puppet.
he is.
And we're going to have a video component finally. I think the
Finally?
final
This is
thing
finally?
tonight is the video, John.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know if he covered this during the thing. This is Andy Cohen on one of the Barstool sports shows talking about his feud with Howard, like genuinely talking about that he and Howard kind of don't like each other now, and Howard actually called him at home to apologize because, in my theory, he's afraid that Andy's getting too much power at Sirius, and he actually gets some guests.
Okay.
Back and forth with Howard Stern.
I do, yeah.
What is that current situation
Well,
like?
it's interesting. There's been new developments because I was in Miami helping Sirius open up new studios there. And I had John Bon Jovi on my show. Howard was also there. And Howard brought John Bon Jovi into his studio while I was live on the air waiting for John Bon Jovi. And I got pissed about it. And Howard called and apologized to me that night and was like, I feel bad and all this stuff. And I feel okay talking about it because he talked about it on his show. But I feel like we're good.
Currently good.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting back and forth, and that plays out through the book as
it's
well.
like kind of like, does he like me? Does he not?
I know, yeah, I can't figure it out.
Kind of big that he called. Usually some
Major.
people would just
Couldn't
go on,
believe
talk
it.
shit, and then go on with their day.
Could not believe it.
Yeah.
Well, that's
good.
Well,
thanks for reading the book.
Does he bring up that phone call? I didn't listen to the interview. Did he bring that phone call up today? That he called Andy at home? Probably
I
not,
didn't
right?
listen to either. He probably did.
No.
I'm assuming no.
Nah.
So that's the shit you
No,
don't hear
no.
about, that he called him at home, and I assume Howard's afraid of him because he's gaining more power by the
Well,
minute.
no,
that this
Howard
Housewives
did
shows
talk
him.
about the phone call the day after it happened in Miami. He did talk about, actually the Monday following, he did talk about it.
How did he frame it?
You know, he would kind of like, you know, I kind of think, I didn't realize, and of course it was totally not his fault, but I didn't realize that Bon Jovi was going to need to be on Andy Cohen's show, and you know, I found out that we were holding them up, so I called. So Robin, I called him, and I told him, you know, I didn't do it intentionally. It was just one of those things that happened. You know, just literally.
He ain't doing that. Not out of any kindness or any kind of mea culpa. He is afraid of them, and he needs something
Exactly.
from it. He only is some self-indulgent reason he would do that. There's nothing about it that's sincere. Ever.
Oh no, absolutely not. There's nothing sincere about that man at all. I mean, just, please. So yeah, but you know, the thing is, you know, Andy actually is relevant, and Howard isn't. So yeah, there's some issues right there.
They're the complete opposite of the relevancy scale. It really are. I mean, it really is. The more
Totally
powerful
opposite
he
ends.
gets.
Jesus. All right.
All right, Bon.
Yeah.
Anything else, or is
there anything else, Bon?
No, I think we're done. This is it. The summer is over. The boys' summer, and Monique next week with I'm sure lots of
new
information about her travels, and Howard back next week, and I hope you all enjoyed, and thanks for having me on, and
Thank you, Bon, for
Thank you,
hosting
Bon.
this week.
Yeah,
no
it's hard
problem.
to go back
Thanks,
in time.
guys. Thanks for the nice comments, Sue, Katie, and Ida left some nice comments, and there were others too. I just can't.
Yeah, the whole
I just
chat's
know there's-
phenomenal. We need to do a show where we just riff off the chat. So I really feel a genuine sense of guilt that we don't get to every comic because they're all so good and brilliant and thoughtful. There's just no time. I don't know how to. So we need to do a show where we're not a prisoner to these effing clips and Peloton
have
and
all
his parents
summer.
and private parts and riff off the
We
chat.
got all summer, man. All summer.
Depping on Friday, too, 8 p.m. We're going to revisit Matthew Broderick killing 2 people in Ireland with Jennifer Grey, which we'll do. I go back to all the time.
Am I on that?
I'll show you.
I'm
I'll
on
show you the
that, am
chapter
I?
in Jennifer Gray's book where she writes about her in the passenger seat.
Am I going to be on that, John? Is that
Yeah,
happening?
yeah. If you want, I'll send you a link. If you want.
Yeah, I'd love it. I'd love it. I'd love it.
This is the 3rd time we talked about it. Just in case
We-
you forgot. You fixate on Alec Baldwin killing someone on Rust. Well, he killed 2 people in Ireland. Let's not forget. Hashtag Matthew Broderick killed 2 people in Ireland.
Don't
in
forget to
1987.
like,
And
subscribe.
subscribe. Where's the
comment.
thing?
It means a
missing.
lot, guys.
I just put it up a minute ago. I did it a
It's
minute
supposed to be
ago.
over that way.
Yeah, it usually is. I did it. Here's another one.
Regardless, you can like the thingy.
And then just down there is like the subscribe thing. It's gonna be like
Up
over
is
that way.
down and left is.
feel sun, have barbecue.
Just kidding.
You're
that
not
needs
good.
a moratorium. That needs a moratorium.
Moratorium needs a moratorium.
Come on, people have been saying goodbye
Okay.
for 5 minutes, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in an Italian event. Can we?
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for hanging with us tonight. Please join us for any further discussion at RadioGunk.com in the forum section. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at RadioGunk. And don't forget to like this and subscribe to us and hit that little bell so you know when we're doing a new show. Thanks.